for Sports Time with Wolo and Steph. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brett Stotts Norsworthy.
Good Friday afternoon to you on this December 13th, 2019. Tigers in Tennessee tomorrow in Knoxville, but breaking Tiger football news at this very hour with the announcement a little bit earlier today of Ryan Silverfield as the head coach. And before they depart for Knoxville, we go out to the airport where Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers, awaits the outbound flight for Knoxville, and he joins us now to talk about the breaking news of the day. And through the miracle of travel and radio, we think he will rejoin us at 5:30 to do our Friday football forecast picks. Good afternoon, Dave Woloshin. I don't think any big surprise with the Ryan Silverfield news, but good news for the Tigers going forward. They got their guy.
I think a big day. I really do. And welcome to Miami Air. I'm here, and several members of staff have arrived. The team will be here shortly, so hopefully I will get to Knoxville in time for the Friday football forecast. But the forecast for me is rosy as could be. This was the guy I felt was really the one to keep this culture, to keep this era going. And Ryan Silverfield is not only a good coach, he's a good person. And he really is a Memphian. He wants to stay here. You heard at his press conference. He said, the next press conference we have with me, I hope will be 20 years from now for my retirement. I don't want to make this a stepping stone. This is where I want to be. His wife flew in from Norman, Oklahoma today for this press conference. And I know she's really happy, and she's going to become a doctor here. She's doing rounds in Norman. She graduated from the University of Chicago Med School. You couldn't get a better couple to be leading this football program. That recruiting class will stay intact, I'm pretty sure. I heard yesterday, and you guys heard it with Greg and Eli. Ryan said he hadn't lost a recruit, and he made sure that was the case. He's the right guy for this time to keep this Norvell culture in place. I think a banner day for the school.
I'm so with you, Dave, and you just hear it from so many. And the culture's changed, as we discussed a couple of days ago. When we had Coach Silverfield on with us, the initial established culture was that of Justin Fuente, and then Mike Norvell changed it, made it better, and now Ryan Silverfield direct from that staff. And it's just not a great time to be a defensive coach and wanting to be a head coach. These are offensive times in the sport. It has changed that much. Yeah, I know there are defensive coaches that are doing very well. Nick Saban is prominently was from the defensive side. Bill Belichick in the NFL was the defensive coach. But now to keep your fans jazzed up and interested, it's hard to go out there and hire the linebacker, the former linebacker, the former DN. That's just the times we're in, and I don't say that at all to impugn or belittle anyone. And with also the parallel breaking news of Barry Odom reaching agreement to be defensive coordinator at Arkansas, I say good for him and great for the Tigers with Ryan Silverfield to go out and continue these good times they're on. And Dave, you've remarked about it to me on and off the air. I mean, I'm not breaking any confidence. Tigers were really good this year. They can be better next year.
They can, on paper. And that'll be up to Ryan now to do that. But I have faith that he will keep it going. And I'm in agreement, especially with our league. I think you've got to look for an offensive guy. And that's what most of the schools have done. Now, that'll all change. At some point, there will be an evolution in the game, and defenses will catch up. And somebody's going to go get an aggressive guy that comes up with a new way to blitz, and that'll be the hot thing. That's just the nature of the game. But right now it's offense, and we got a guy who's pretty darn steady, who, as a person and as a coach, I think is that same steady. Now, the question will be, and maybe he'll answer it in the press conference in about 20 minutes, how much of his staff will be here for the bowl game? And, I think we need to look into the contract wording, but I have this sense that many will stay because in order to get their bonuses for making the bowl game, they have to coach in the bowl game.
Yeah.
And that may be the dilemma that Adam Fuller's been having. Does he want to get his bonus, or does he want to get down to work with Mike Norvell? And I don't know how significant that bonus is across the board, and probably each coach has a different one. But I think those bonuses could come into play as to who sticks around for this bowl game. I don't think anybody wants to toss away a bonus they deserve because they got to this position.
Well, there's a lot of reasons to hire Ryan Silverfield, and there were a lot of reasons not to. And one of them not to was just any short-term instant gratification. But if it also has the long-term good effect that I hope and think that it will, I do like the idea of now he's the man. It's one voice going into the bowl preparation. This bowl matters. No, it doesn't end. It's not the end of Western civilization if the Tigers get beat by 1 or get beat by 41. But look, to break the bowl losing streak and to do it in the Cotton Bowl against Penn State, that kind of puts a added value to it. And also for the recruiting that starts next Wednesday and tying up those loose ends. But he was not hired for the next 30 days. He was hired, for the next several years. I hope he is that long-standing guy. But, Dave, all the years that you have covered Tiger sports and been in town approaching almost 40 years of exemplary professionalism in this market, Ryan Silverfield is being handed to the keys to the car with the most pressure ever on a Tiger football coach to keep it going.
Well, let me just say this. It's the first time in my history of going to watch the University of Tennessee in Memphis play basketball on our way to Knoxville in the Thompson Bowling Arena. And in the airplane today, and this never happened, I've been doing games where I traveled with the team since 1986. It has never occurred that football is the main topic of conversation on this airplane.
In a good way, yeah.
In a incredible way.
Yeah.
And think about these times, one of 5 or 6 schools that are in both polls, and you got the University of Memphis 13th in the AP poll going to play what should be a classic of a basketball game, and at the same time, you're making preparations to head to Dallas to play in the Cotton Bowl. These are extraordinary times. I like to say this. I said it in 2008, and it applies again this year. These are the good old days. I don't know if we'll ever be back to where you have this combination. I hope so. I hope this is the beginning of a long run of this. But we better sit back and reflect and go, wow, this is just an amazing time. If I said to you even 6 years ago that Memphis would end up playing in a New Year's Day Bowl, we'd be going to the Cotton Bowl to play in Jerry's World, you would have thought I was crazy.
No, but Dave, I tell you something neither one of us ever bought into, and not many of any credibility did, but there was that conversation of, well, let's just admit what we are in football and maybe ratchet it down and go all, no. And we never bought into that. No, get better at it. And starting with Justin Fuente and continuing with Mike Norvell, and hopefully with Ryan Silverfield, it has gotten exponentially better. Dave, I know you gotta get gone. We hope to catch back up with you again about 5:30. We have your picks just in case you can't sell them to me at 5:30, but you travel safely, and we hope we talk to you again. I know you're going to have dinner tonight with the Tennessee broadcast crew, and part of that crew will join us at 4:30, their analyst Burt Bertelkamp. So you be safe, and if you can rejoin us, we look forward to it, and thank you for jumping on and sharing the good news.
That is my intention. It is a good day, and then I hope to wipe you away at 5:30.
You got it. See you, my man.
Bye.
Dave Wolo on the road with the Tigers. Drew Barrett's out today. He's on the road as well. He's going across I-40. He's not going in the air like Dave. Drew's on his way to Knoxville, so he in with me today. Gabe Kuhn pulling the Marathon Man session today. What are you doing, the Jerry Lewis Telethon today?
I don't know, man. I'm glad.
Are you lucid? How many fingers am I holding up?
I don't know. My eyes stink. I need to go get my glasses fixed. But no, I'm glad to be doing it. Glad to be doing it.
Glad to have Gabe in here with us, and you will pick with us at Friday. And you were with us one Friday, and man, you were cooking with hot grease that Friday afternoon. I'm trying to get to the.
It's 2 in a row. I think I went 7-3 and then 6-4.
You did go 7-3 on college, and 5-3 on the 8-4 in college, 5-3 on the NFL, 13-7 overall. So you're putting that lusty percentage up. today.
Hope I can do it again today.
Hope you can do it again today. We've got a lot in store for you. We will visit with Bruce Marshall at 3:30 at the bottom of this hour, talk all things Vegas and some of these coaching carousel moves, including Ryan Silverfield, named today as the permanent head coach of the University of Memphis Tigers. At 4 o'clock, we talk Grizzlies with Peter Edmondson. Speaking of marathon men, what a great job again by Peter yesterday with all that he does every year for our Toys for Tots campaign. But we're merely the vehicle for it. As we closed yesterday and been said many times yesterday and again today, in thanking everyone, you, the people, the listeners, the most important people in this business, the listeners. It goes hand in glove, people. I mean, it's listeners, it's sponsors, it's listeners. We can't exist without both of you. And the first one are the great listeners. And once again, the coffers were full, and holiday dreams will come true for someone. And it's very rewarding for us every year. But we just don't do that much. You really do it. But Peter is the titular head of our group here, and he'll talk Grizzlies with us at 4 o'clock as tonight. Jawless, we know that. Ja Morant will not play tonight. It sounds like Giannis won't play either, but it will be the Bucks and the Grizzlies at FedEx Forum. I mentioned Burt Bertelkamp at 4:30 from the Tennessee announced team. He's the analyst with Bob Kessley on UT basketball, and I want to get his take on just how big is it in Knoxville with this game, because we know how big it is here. I think it's the biggest rival now.
I think it is. It's a shame. It's a shame after next year it probably won't be played, but I think it is a good rival, and in-state it should be played going down. It should be played.
It should be played, and I think Tennessee should give a little more on the football front. And I kind of hate that the University of Memphis has acquiesced to, okay, we're not going to get anything out of them on the football front. I think anybody that's ever listened to me knows where I come from on scheduling. I think for everybody, play in the area. And before anybody said, yes, Ole Miss, play Southern Miss, fine by it. Play Arkansas State, play somebody in the area, somebody FBS in football, and then try to as much as you can with the basketball thing, at least ever so often. But it looks like sounds like next year will be it. At 5 o'clock, we'll talk the NBA and the Grizzlies with Andy Schiffman, our NBA analyst. He joins us at 5 every Friday. And at 5:30, we'll have our First National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast from the great people at First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. Been with us all year on Friday, and we appreciate that through the end of the year. We'll continue with picks. We're going to do all the bowl games, all the NFL playoffs, Super Bowl. It's about 60 picks left the rest of the year that we will pick. And Dave right now in the lead. We'll wrap it up today with Taco Bell Crunch Time. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity Sales Event, the December to Remember sales event. Great offers on all 2019 models, always on special lease options, and the 2020s are rolling in. If you've ever thought I'd look great in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus of Memphis thinks you would look outstanding in one of those beautiful Lexus cars as well. Driving luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS 500, and you'll be looking and driving in style. Lexus of Memphis, the highest standards in the industry. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design that makes for the luxury driving experience. 362-8833, online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
And I hope you have one as well, Gabe. You got a top story? Good. My top story, Tigers and UT tomorrow in Knoxville. Tennessee leads the all-time series. Did you realize that?
No.
I don't think I did until I looked it up last night.
What's the record?
14-11, is that right?
Close. It's close, though.
But I don't know that I realized it until I looked it up last night. I hope I looked that up correctly. I'm pretty sure I
think
did.
You did.
I was looking at the Tennessee game notes and the Memphis game notes late last night, but it was late. And it was after a long day. Boy, if I'm wrong on that, I'm going to have to start out the day with an apology. But I think that's correct. Tennessee leads all time. They do lead all time in Knoxville, and UT won last year here in Memphis. Memphis won the last time the game was played in Knoxville, and there's bad blood. It's a very bitter rivalry. I don't want to tell anybody what to do with their rivalries. I get so tired of people telling me about the toxicity of the Egg Bowl. Maybe I don't like a player going down to all fours and mimicking a peeing dog, but by and large around that game, that's what rivalries are about.
The back and forth is what makes it. If it wasn't there, it wouldn't be a rivalry. I get,
we're in the passion business.
Absolutely. Sometimes you have, a land rivalry where you're close to somebody, but at the same time, the back and forth just makes it that much more fun.
And one of the great rivalries, it's not anywhere near in the neighborhood. The USC Notre Dame thing in football. I mean, both sides will tell you, we go 1-11. I want to beat Notre Dame, or I want to beat USC, and some may have it a little more elucidating than others. But last year, the whole ball fist thing, there was a lot of passion. It was first-year coach. And in the comments afterwards, I hope everybody moves on from it. But I want passion in that arena to Mark Thompson Bowling. I think the Tigers are going to get it.
Of course, you don't have to be a fan of it, but I think in the end of the day, when you look back on these type of things with rivalries like this, it becomes sort of a historical thing, and people, can look back and have fun and realize that these rivalries really do mean something.
They do mean things. Look, you have to play the South Carolina State type games, but you don't want the building feeling like that every night, and you can't have the passion of what the building felt like last year at FedEx Forum and what it will feel like tomorrow at TBA for number 13 against number 19. Your top
Absolutely,
story?
My top story of the day, got to go with my former coach, Ryan Silverfield, being promoted to head coach. Really cool to see. Think he's done a tremendous job since he's been here. I think it was the right hire. There were other names in this whole thing. I think Barry Odom would have done a fine job. I think, if you look down the road, I think, Hugh Freeze may have been an outside shot. It would have been an interesting shot, but I think he would have done a good job as well. This was a job that was, wanted by several around the country, and I think Ryan Silverfield was certainly the guy, sort of the obvious choice for me.
He's taking over at the most pressure-packed time to be 0-0 as the Tigers head coach, but he's also taking over at the best time to be 0-0.
And I think, he won't miss stride. He absolutely wants to continue the same thing that Norvell created. He wants to stay on that same track. I think you're going to see a good offensive football. It's yet to be seen who he will hire. I think he has some guys down the road. His players certainly adore him. I know I adore him as a coach, and I think it'll be a good job.
I don't think it's always great policy to let the locker room and the recent letterman like yourself hire the coach, but in this case, it was overwhelming. It was not one dissenter.
Yeah, and you see a lot of people talk about Matt Luke, and I think there's something to be said about it. A lot of people loved him. Same with Barry Odom as well. A lot of people in that locker room wanted him, but in this situation, that situation had a lot more extenuating circumstances that led to it not being a good day in that program's history. So, I think this one, with where it is at right now, this was the obvious idea.
And I have not a single idea how it ends. When it ends, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 19 years. I hope he supplants Coach Murphy as the all-timer at the University
I
of
will
Memphis.
absolutely say this. The first day he came into the O-line room when I was there, he's a guy that wanted continuity. He's a guy that, had bounced around the NFL years, had to be an interim O-line coach, going from Detroit to Minnesota. There's too much moving for him, and he really wanted that continuity, and this is a job that he's been waiting for.
Let's call a place home.
Not top story of the day.
Well, it's the not top story today, and it's probably going to be the not top even after the weekend when it really should be the top, but he was so good it's going to be such a landslide. Hey, news alert. Joe Burrow's going to win the Heisman Trophy tomorrow night in Lower Manhattan, and it's going to be a landslide LBJ 64, Reagan 84 style, maybe top OJ as the all-time biggest margin of victory for a Heisman Trophy winner. And the top four finalists will be part of the college football playoff 4 teams. Burrow, Fields, Young, Hurts, Dobbins, Lawrence. They will all be in the top vote getters, and they're all going to be playing in about 3 weeks to decide this college football champion for 2019 into 2020. All will be involved in votes tomorrow night and on the field in the semis and finals. And clearly, this year in college football proved this. There's no case to be made for another team to be in the playoffs other than those 4. Those are the 4 best rosters and teams in the country.
And I think an interesting side narrative to this whole to the Heisman race this year is 3 of the 4 are transfer quarterbacks. So all those talking about the transfer portal, it's sort of an interesting topic. It's
Look at your last 3 Heisman winners.
A lot of people on both sides.
All transfer.
End of the day, I think it has shown that it helps these players, one, and at times makes the product better for those schools that they transfer to.
Yeah, went Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and now Joe Burrow all being transfers. You're not top story?
My not top story, and I don't know if Deion Waiters is ever going to get right. He has been suspended again for the 3rd time. 3 strikes, you're out, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time. I mean, this is just ridiculous. The Heat have suspended him for the 3rd time this season, they announced Thursday, and this time for a failure to adhere to team policies, violation of team rules, and continued insubordination. I don't know about, you, but when somebody's insubordinate, usually they get kicked out of the
most workplaces.
Kicked out. But Waiters will have to sit until December 23rd against the Jazz. He had already been ruled out for Friday's game for the Lakers because of illness and will now miss 5 more games. Just absolutely a nightmare of a year for Deion Waiters.
It has been. We're live. We're local at 360-8255. Call us, and you can message us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. 360-8255, the First Bank phone line. 67129, the First Bank text line. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and a Happy 2020 to one and all from the good folks at First Bank. And at First Bank, they all have deep Memphis roots in banking and business experience. Experienced Memphis bankers that you know and trust and see around town in the community, whether it's at church or sports or civic or schools or whatever. You know them around town because they are Memphis, and that's what they know you need. First Bank knows what you need, a reliable, trustworthy banker that can give you an answer. They make the decisions about you, for you, right here in Memphis, not in Nashville, not in Birmingham, not in Knoxville, but right here in Memphis. A direct answer from the First Bank banker you're dealing with. First Bank, they have stories and a record of customers reaching high. Community banks are the preferred lender of people building a success story. Build your success story with First Bank. Visit firstbankonline.com. That's firstbankonline.com. We come back. 360-8255, your calls or your texts at 67129 at the First Bank phone and text line. And Bruce Marshall from the Goal Sheet on the odds this weekend for the NFL games and for the historic Army-Navy game for the 120th time being played tomorrow in Philadelphia. Dave is on his way to Knoxville. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk and Gabe Kuhn on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services, wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We know at Conway Services the timing's not always right for you to have heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric problems. So during the holiday season, if you should find yourself in need of these services, just know that Conway Services is always ready to serve, and we also got financing options available. So during the month of December, Conway Services is offering our year-end heating system closeout special for as low as $79 per month. That's right, replace your heating system with Conway Services by year-end for as low as $79 per month. And if that's not enough, we'll include an April air cleaner, a free Nest thermostat, and a 10-year parts warranty. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old heating system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
I just left those Ford and Toyota dealers. You ought to see their selection of new cars and trucks. And you should see their prices. Santa trades a Sunrise Buick GMC truck. Top trade-in for old sleds, immediate financing, a true bargain lot with cars and trucks under $99.95. And remember, Sunrise specializes in first-time buyers. Want to buy a car or truck and have some left over for the holidays? SunriseMemphis.com, Covington Pike, Wolfchase, and Collierville. Happy holidays.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
When you're diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer,
a lot of questions run through your mind.
What am I going to do?
What are my options?
What did I do wrong?
We've had those thoughts too.
But some questions can help you move forward.
Visit findyourmbcvoice.com for an interactive guide to help you learn the next steps to take after an MBC diagnosis.
And how to ask the questions that lead to an open and informed conversation with your doctor.
Start finding your voice today
at findyourmbcvoice.com.
Summers span decades. Winters can last a lifetime. And the struggle for the Iron Throne continues in Game of Thrones: The Final Season. Get it now on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD. The complete series also available on Blu-ray and DVD, now for purchase. But you could win it right here on Sports 56 with help from your friend Johnny Radio. Johnny's giving away 4 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and 4 digital copies. Who loves you this holiday season like Johnny? Nobody.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Norsworthy.
Thank you, Gabe Coon. We will go to Vegas momentarily and visit with Bruce Marshall from the Goal Sheet. Get all things inside on the Army-Navy game tomorrow and on the weekend in the NFL. Big weekend in the NFL for sure. We're in our Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Buy one, get one half off Christmas sale. Looking for Christmas gifts for your family and or your friends, maybe even for yourself? Well, now is the time to buy it. Family Leisure, buy one item for someone special and get the second half off for yourself. Get the best deals now until Christmas Eve. Pool tables as low as $14.99, arcades as low as $9.99, massage chairs as low as $6.99, and all those hot tubs that we got to see yesterday at Toys for Tots Day as low as $1,400. Stop by Family Leisure now to get your Christmas shopping done. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40, and a big thank you again to them for everything, for their sponsorship, their support, their belief in us, and for them being such a gracious host and partner with us again yesterday for our Toys for Tots campaign. It was so much fun, and they were a big part of it. Thank you again to Family Leisure. We go to Las Vegas to visit with our friend Bruce Marshall. And Bruce, boy, it starts in late August, and all of a sudden, college football mostly over except for a bowl menu that will crank up next Friday. And I'll be ready next Friday. Only one game tomorrow. Can you believe? And at the Goal Sheet, y'all were founded in 1957, and we'll have to reconnect with Bruce. Goal Sheet founded in 1957, completing another year covering college football. Tomorrow in Philadelphia will be the Army-Navy game Army looking for their fourth in a row after years and years of losing until they broke that streak. They hadn't won since 2001 in that game, and that was the one time I got to go to the Army-Navy game on December 1, 2001, some 13, 14 weeks after 9/11. They got the win that day. Ran the opening kickoff back that day, got the win, and then they go on that long drought to the Navy, broken, and now Army trying to extend it to 4 games. Remember early in the year when we thought Army might be around at college football playoff time and maybe possibly how they would sort out this weekend against Navy. We go to Vegas now. We got a clear connection with our man from the Gold Sheet, Bruce Marshall. Good afternoon, Bruce.
Hello, Brett.
Can you believe we're at the end of another college football season with just the bowls remaining?
I can't believe it. And this is the latest they've played an Army-Navy game. It's also going to be the latest they've started a bowl season. We start next Friday. We've actually got some games. But through then the final game, January 13th. So everything's kind of pushed back a week this year. But this is the latest start we can ever remember for the Bowls.
And tomorrow in Philadelphia, that game matters to us here in Memphis, already part of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Will be Navy. Will they come in 9-2, or they come in 9-3, or will they come in 10-2?
I think 10-2. So I'm a little wary always because in recent years Army has gotten the best of Navy, but it's kind of flipped this year from a year ago when Army had everything going its way and Navy was struggling and missed the bowl for the first time in 6 years. And Army was really good last year and won this game. But they're all tough in Army-Navy. Here's the angle to look at in these games. Army has won 3 in a row. Navy had won 14 in a row prior to that. But you've also had the last 13 games go under the total. Army-Navy. That's not much of a surprise. There's very few incomplete passes. These games just seem to blend in one to the next the last few years, not just hammering away with the option both ways. This year, Navy has the edge, though, because Malcolm Perry's the best option pilot I have seen in a long time. Memphis fans saw him earlier in the year. And Navy's played a lot tougher schedule than Army this year, too. Army also, their quarterback Hopkins has been in and out of the lineup, and their coordinator last year, James Bateman, went to North Carolina. That was a really good Army defense last year, not as good this year. 24-10 Navy. They'll win. Weather conditions, low 50s, some rain perhaps tomorrow, but no snow like recent years in this game. But another under, we think, tomorrow in this one at Philly.
So lay the points with Navy minus the 10.5, but you like the over and under, and that is listed at what right now? I'm trying to find it.
About 40.5, 41, but we're going under. This would be 14 straight unders in this game if it goes under, so that's what we'll project first tomorrow, then Navy be our second.
Under 41.5, the goal sheet says take the under in that game. Have you been to the Army-Navy game?
2004, and great fun. Really, that should be on everybody's bucket list.
Be.
I can still hear Dan Baker, the PA announcer who still works for the Phillies. Great the stadium there. Kyle Eckel. Again, Kyle Eckel. And the PA, it's just a great thing to see for once in your life. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it so much. And I was saying when we were reconnecting with you, I went the only time in 2001, 13, 14 weeks after 9/11. And not only was it, the patriotic fervor that we were in, but also the security fervor we were in that day. The President of the United States was there. There were surface-to-air missile batteries and setups outside the stadium, and it was not for decor. It was for keeps.
Yes, and the time I went, President Bush came in, and it's fun. Where the link is? It's right near the landing pad at Philadelphia International. They cleared out the airspace for about a half hour, and then we saw Air Force One coming up from the south, and it banked over downtown Philadelphia and in to land there. Pretty dramatic, and the whole thing is awfully cool.
It really is, and also I caught that day. I don't know if it's been broken, but I took every dressing for cold weather item you can think of to be outside and try to be comfortable. That day, December 1, 2001, Philadelphia record high, 68 degrees at kickoff.
Well, you didn't need any of that stuff, did you?
Could have worn Bermuda shorts. It was perfect that day. I do suggest everybody, if you want to really knock one off the bucket list, that's one to go to. And I think it's really even better when the president shows and you get to see when he changes sides, or she someday, when they change sides at halftime and set one half on the Army side and ceremony at halftime for them to review the troops and go to the other side. It was quite something, and I was there, Bruce. It was the last year they ever had it at the venerable old vet.
Well, that's right. Yeah, before the link opened up. The great thing about Army Navy games, the Memphis fans see this when they played Navy. The Corps on each side, Annapolis and West Point, they don't be quiet the whole game, and they're in unison. The cheers they have, it adds to the flavor of the whole thing. This cacophony of cheers up, it never stops during the game. It's really kind of neat.
And the in-house Jumbotron spoof ads and skits, needling at the other one, but a lot of respect. It really is a lot of fun. Bruce, into all the coaching carousel moves, and today Ryan Silverfield named the permanent head coach of the University of Memphis. Which one really stands out to you that may not to many others that you've got circled of keep an eye on that guy in that job?
Well, I think it's still there's still going to be some movements here. I think the one that didn't happen when Clay Helton stuck around at SC last week, that surprised a lot of people at SC. He's staying there. Chris Peterson leaving Washington still kind of stunned a lot of people out here, and I think that was in the works for a while, but nobody really saw it coming. And they're taking a big risk here, jumping right into Jimmy Lake, the defensive coordinator. I mean, everything is in your face and up tempo and new wave with Jimmy Lake, but you wonder about what West Coast football, or west of the Rockies football, would have been in the last 15 years without Chris Peterson. I mean, he really helped solidify Boise's brand, and he revived the Washington program there. So that one's still kind of a lot of people out here still wondering about that, and it's just the latest case of burnout, and that still surprised a lot of people out here.
But has there been one, Mike Norvell at Florida State, or Ryan Silverfield at Memphis, or Eli Drinkwitz at Mizzou? Your thoughts on Lane Kiffin? What about the offensive line coach from Georgia to Arkansas?
Yeah, I think Lane Kiffin to Ole Miss is the one that's got a lot of people looking here now, and we know. Listen, he's been effective he was effective at Florida Atlantic. And he hasn't always. It didn't work out at Tennessee. He's only there for a year at Tennessee, but I think that one is the most interesting and has the most volatility attached to it. And so I would watch that one really close. Also, kind of curious if Greg Schiano can revive Rutgers because they are so far down right now. But he did win there the last time. That was back when they were playing in the Big East. If he can revive them just a little bit, that would be kind of interesting to me. So I'm going to keep an eye on Rutgers as well.
NFL on Sunday, and it's some good ones. I think right here in the state of Tennessee, in Nashville, the Titans and the Texans trying to sort out the AFC South. They play again in Houston in 2 weeks. The Titans next week play at home against the Saints. They probably need to win 2 out of the next 3. I don't think the Titans can afford to lose at home on Sunday in Nashville. Vegas has installed the Titans as a 3.5-point favorite. What do you think about that game, Bruce?
Yeah, the line's moved up a little bit here, but listen, Tennessee is playing as well as anybody in the AFC, maybe outside of Baltimore right now. 6-1 with the Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. They're also 7-0 to the over with Tannehill in there. We have to respect the recuperative powers of all these NFL teams. You play a bad game, and oftentimes you bounce back. We saw that with Houston last month. Got boat raced by Baltimore. Came back, won a couple in a row, including against the Patriots, and then looked bad again last week against the Broncos. So it is within Houston to bounce back. But what Tannehill has done is the ability to throw downfield. It was suddenly a big play offense. I'm assuming Derrick Henry's going to play in this game. There's a little bit of question about him, but I think he's going to be in there. And that's opened the offense going deep has also opened up things for Derrick Henry. And Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, he was forgetting Henry some early in the season. Not anymore. He's leaning on him now and he's picking up big yardage and big runs, too. Tennessee gets them, I think. 33-24 Titans. I think this is real. I think Tannehill has earned this job on a permanent basis going forward. He looks such an upgrade from Mariota, not afraid to throw downfield. And actually, I kind of like Mike Vrabel more than Bill O'Brien in this month, so we'll give the Titans a look.
I'm with you. I like Mike Vrabel better than Bill O'Brien, and it could go horribly wrong or really right for Bill O'Brien down the stretch of this season. On Sunday, noon at Lambeau Field, NFL's oldest rivalry. They kicked off this season in a lot different weather than Sunday will be played in at Lambeau. Packers hosting the Bears. Packers 4.5-point favorite.
Packers have been winning ugly the last couple of weeks. That could work against the G-Men and the Redskins. I'm not sure it works against the defense team, and I think we can classify the Bears as that right now. Green Bay, I don't think, has played a really good game since before Halloween, and they are not impressing me much right now. Give Matt Nagy some credit. He is incorporating some runs into the mix from Mitch Trubisky. And that new multi-dimensional look of Trubisky certainly kept Dallas off balance last Thursday night. I think the Bears got a shot here. They won 3 in a row. They have a very slim shot at the playoffs, so it only stays alive if they keep winning. And I do not think Green Bay is going to win the NFC North. I think Minnesota's going to get them. They got to play the Vikings next week. They may lose this one. I'm going to call the upset. 20-19 Bears on Sunday.
Bears plus the 4.5 win straight up according to the goal sheet. A game that will be played at MetLife Stadium on Sunday, and Eli Manning could very well be playing in his last game as a New York Giant at home. They have to play the game, Bruce, because all the tickets have been printed and most of them sold. 3-10 Dolphins against 2-11 Giants. The Giants a 3.5-point favorite, and this could be thanks for the memories for Eli Manning.
Yeah, and they are also offering tickets to this game in lieu of community service up there in New Jersey, because not many people are going to want to watch. Wrong team's favorite. I think Miami's better than the Giants right now. Eli, a couple of plays in the first half last week, but the second half was absolutely awful, and that's why they moved away from Eli back early in the season. Can't get out of the way of the pass rush. Pat Shurmur, Pat Shurmur's job is on the line here now. He looked extremely upset. And he was not happy with Eli in the second half. That was pathetic. And they kept that defense out in the field. Listen, Ryan Fitzpatrick I'd much rather have him going for me now. They should have won that game last week at this same stadium, by the way. They've covered 7 of their last 9, for goodness sake. People in Vegas nervous who bet the season under total win half and 5. They're at 3. I think they get to 4 here. 28-22 Miami. They go up there and win this one at MetLife after playing on the same field last week.
Miami wins this week at MetLife. Last game for Eli possibly tomorrow, but definitely the last game in Oakland on Sunday for the Raiders. And I know that's sad for a lot of people, including your radio partner at Visson, Brent Musburger. He calls the Raiders radio games. Raiders are the favorite in this game against the Jags, 6.5-point favorite. Boy, it could be a wild scene toward sunset, darkness setting in, East Bay, and in that crazy fan area of the Raiders.
It could, and this is kind of a third curtain call for the Raiders here. I remember back in 2015, they thought that game with the Chargers was going to be their last game in Oakland. They played spirited, and the Oakland won. Last year, that Monday night game, second to last week against Denver, they thought that was the last game in Oakland. Raiders played very hard, and they won. So now they come into this one. They are not bringing much momentum in here. They've had 3 straight losses by 21 per game. Ouch. But Jacksonville's playing worse. 5 losses in a row, all by 17 or more. This team has run for the bus. Mm-hmm. I thought Doug Marrone was more likely to be managing Shad Khan's Fulham soccer team in London this week than coaching the Jags. I don't see any. I am going to be shocked if he makes it to the end of the season. This team has really quit. And the fact it's the Jags, plus it's the last game in Oakland, I've got to take the Raiders here. Maybe it's just sentiment for LaMonica, Biletnikoff, Jim Otto, and the rest. But last game in the Coliseum, I don't think they lose to these guys for sure. 30-17, Oakland will take the Raiders on Sunday.
Oakland for the last time at the Coliseum in Oakland, in East Bay. Raiders moving to the LV next year. You're talking about teams that have quit. The Panthers have quit. It's a race to the bottom for them.
It is, and, that owner, it looks pretty impatient. I mean, David Tepper, new owner there, a couple of years, he's already hit the eject button on Ron Rivera. He looks like he wants to run everybody in Charlotte out, even Michael Jordan if he could. I mean, he wants to get rid of everybody. So I think they're going to be in some trouble again here tomorrow on Sunday against the Seahawks. Coming back after that bad effort against the Rams, first game all year, Russell Wilson hasn't had a TD pass, but they had won 6 straight as a visitor. And I think Seattle bounces back. They've had some close games, but I just can't recommend anything for Carolina. And by the way, this is another young quarterback who is just not Kyle Allen, these quarterbacks are good for a couple of weeks like Daniel Jones was, and then it starts to go the other way, and it's gone the other way for Kyle Allen. 31-17 Seahawks.
Bruce, one more. Any leans, thoughts on Tigers in Tennessee and hoops tomorrow? We at the First Bank text line at 67129. A texter tells me early line Tennessee laying the 5 points at home, the over and under at 139. You have any thoughts on which way that big rivalry game could go tomorrow at Thompson Bowling?
Little bit to the Vols, I think. They've Rick Barnes has done a really nice job keeping this thing afloat, and I think Tennessee might get them 12. I wouldn't want to lay more than 5 points though. That's maxing me out there, but I think we'll lean Tennessee a little bit. But
it's not one of your favorite games out there of all the stuff this weekend, is it?
Not one of those. For one of those tonight, how about this special one? Gardner-Webb -10 over Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State is really struggling right now.
Gardner-Webb over Kennesaw State. I had it on the tip of my tongue as my lock of the weekend. Bruce, tell our listeners how they can access more of this great information from you at the Gold Sheet.
Thank you, Brett. Check us out online at goldsheet.com. Hey, read my story this week about Ohio State turning down the Rose Bowl bid in 1961. I got to write a book about that one someday. That is the most incredible story in our Gold Sheet publishing history, and I talked about it now at goldsheet.com. Read it up on the website. We got all the games this week. Basketball Thursday, new issue now. Bowl issue 1 on Monday, and all the NFL games up there right now. Goldsheet.com, my picks there, also Vegas Insider, and donbest.com.
Bruce, great job. I told you I'm going to be away next Friday, but I know you'll visit with Drew and with Dave and with Gabe, but I'm going to be away, so I want to tell you and yours Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and look forward to visiting in about 2 weeks, right before all the big bowl games and right before we turn the odometer over to 2020. Thank you very much, Bruce.
Merry Christmas, Brett. Talk to you soon.
You got it. Bruce Marshall with the Gold Sheet with us every Friday picking the games. Gardner-Webb over Kennesaw State. You had that one.
Oh, yeah, that was written down.
Yeah, weekend lock, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not going to go out and put the mortgage balance on it, are you?
Oh, too late.
Too late. You've already done it, huh? Gabe Kuhn with me today. Drew on his way to Knoxville. Dave on his way to Knoxville. We think Dave will join us again about 5:30 in time to do football picks. I know Gabe would join in. I got Drew's picks, and I'm ready for the picks at that time. We take a break now, round out hour 1. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew and Gabe and a cast of thousands on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking, no telephone pole to get in your way, a cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Ho, ho, hold it. There's a brand new Chevy in Olive Branch with a big red bow and your name on it. If you're ready for a new Chevy, a Silverado, a Traverse, the all-new Blazer, ready for any new Chevy, most of All-Star's new 2019s are now at employee prices. You know what that means? You could save thousands paying what the employees pay. And most of the 2019s are included. All-Star has lots of 2019s, people. Lots more than any other Mid-South dealers. And All-Star Chevrolet and Olive Branch has the best testing grounds in the Mid-South. Back roads, highways, get a feel for it, and maybe that'll end up underneath your tree. Just go to allstarautogroup.com and see what I'm talking about. And remember, don't go to the Pike or Mount Moriah or Collierville or South Haven. For the Beat Any Dealer's Price Challenge and your best time ever, it's gotta be Olive Branch. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy and Olive Branch or go to allstarautogroup.com today. It's time to bring in the old and drive home with the new.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, There's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day. Group play and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
And now, a page from the diary of Flo.
Dear Diary, I got the brush off again. I don't get it. Is there something wrong with the way I wave? Elbow, wrist, elbow, wrist. Why won't that little basset hound acknowledge me? I'm friendly. I give everyone peace of mind when I protect their homes through Progressive. He should be jumping for joy when I walk by.
Save an average of 17% on car insurance when you bundle home and auto through Progressive.
Maybe it's me. No, it's him.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations. Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolo and Brett Norsworthy.
Thank you, Gabe. A President's Cup update. Are you a golfer at all, Gabe?
I dabble.
You like?
I haven't played 9 holes in about a year, but
so you do dabble
here and there, yeah.
Well, I lost some of my enthusiasm for the President's Cup after the first day big lead that the international team went out there and staked themselves to. The United States goes into today, which is tomorrow, down 6.5, 3.5, so down 3. And through 6 holes, Ricky Fowler and Justin Thomas won up on Leishman and Lee, all square in the Cantlay-Shoffley Answer-Eam match. That's through 5. Simpson-Reed down 1 to Matsuyama and C.T. Pan through 4. And Kuchar-Finau all square with Scott and On through 3. Most international team, and that's a lot of countries represented in the President's Cup against the internationals, not like Ryder Cup against Team Euro. The United States has only lost this one time, and it will take a pretty good comeback today and then in singles matches tomorrow to really make hay. Captain Tiger Woods has been the backbone of the team. He's played great and looks like he's in mid-season form from where he was barely able to move around late July, around our tournament last year, the WGC FESJI, and you thought, oh, no, he's hurt again, and it could be a long time for him to be out. But he's back, and I hope next year with the tournament here, WGC FESJI, will be 4th of July weekend, 2 weeks after the U.S. Open, 2 weeks before the Open Championship. I hope he's hale and hearty and makes that Memphis appearance in 2020. Today, I know Greg and Eli from 10 to 1 on Sports 56 Middays. They were down at All-Star Chevy, and it was so fun to listen to them and what they were doing for the toy drive down there. And down at All-Star Chevy, there's a brand-new Chevy for you at Olive Branch with a big red bow on it and your name on it. If you're ready for a new Chevy, a Silverado, a Traverse, the all-new Blazer, ready for any new Chevy, most of All-Star's new 2019s are now at employee prices. The 2019s, they have to go, so they're priced just like the employees get the price at. You know what that means? That means you could save thousands paying what the employees pay, and most of the 2019s are included. All-Star has lots of 2019s. People a lot more than any other Mid-South dealer. Go to allstarautogroup.com and see what I'm talking about. Remember, don't go to the Pike or Mount Moriah or Collierville or South Haven for the beat any dealer's price challenge in your best time ever. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch or go to allstarautogroup.com today. And thank you, All-Star, for having Greg and Eli down there today. And I know they came through with the toy drive that they were trying to help in the Olive Branch community. So very fun. We come back to start the second hour on this busy news-making Friday. The big news, Ryan Silverfield permanently named the head coach of the University of Memphis, but we will talk with Peter Edmiston, start hour number 2 about Ja Morant's night in Phoenix the other night and his night tonight in Memphis that won't be a very busy one. But tomorrow night against Washington, he will play Bucks and Grizzlies downtown at FedEx Forum tonight. My first Grizzlies game all year I get to go to. I said I wasn't going to be able to go until I got football behind me. Well, football's behind me, and Grizzlies attending starts tonight for me, and I'm looking forward to it. It's been too long for me, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Bucks, whatever they throw out there, and the Grizzlies, whatever they put out there tonight at FedEx Forum. When we come back, we put Peter Edmondson out there. You hear him every morning on The Experience. You'll hear him next with us. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The Vargas family, legendary Memphis restaurateur, starting with Mr. Charlie and continuing today with his grandchildren.
Brett, it just dawned on me the other day that while Memphis is celebrating its bicentennial, the Rendezvous has been here well over one-third of Memphis's existence. Someone asked me if we remember the day the Rendezvous started, and I tell them no, because if we thought it was going to last this long, we'd have kept much better records. But we're not a place to rest on our laurels or reputation. We're always trying to add new things to make our customers' experience more enjoyable. Friday lunches have always been special because we give away our red beans and rice. But we are now adding a sausage sandwich. It's the same sausage we serve on our cheese and sausage plate, but it will be served lengthwise on the bun with beans and slaw on the side. We've also partnered with a company called Devillet out of Dyersburg to introduce a new sweet glazed mustard with Rendezvous seasoning in it. It will really go great with a sandwich. I still recommend adding slaw. My grandfather had a hot dog stand on Beale Street in 1916, and we've come full circle using his slaw on our hot dogs. Hope to see you this Friday at the Rendezvous.
In the Alley in downtown Memphis.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Penny Hardaway. There's a comfort in being home, and to me, comfort food and family makes Memphis the place to be, along with having the best basketball fans in America. I like pulling into Corky's and getting one of their family party packs. How can you go wrong with pork, beans, slaw, sauce, and buns for only $5.99 a person? It is so easy. I can call ahead, order online, or just pop in. Tailgating can't get any easier. Tell them Penny sent you.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Summers span decades, winters can last a lifetime, and the struggle for the Iron Throne continues in Game of Thrones: The Final Season. Get it now on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD. The complete series also available on Blu-ray and DVD, now for purchase, but you could win it right here on Sports 56 with help from your friend Johnny Radio. Johnny's giving away 4 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and 4 digital copies. Who loves you this holiday season like Johnny? Nobody.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Ocean and Brad Norsworthy.
Dave on his way to Knoxville for the Tigers in Tennessee tomorrow at 2 o'clock with a lot of emotion for sure in the building tomorrow. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it was here last year. And Tennessee got the best of the Tigers on that day last year. Now the Tennessee Vols this year favored by 5. Bruce Marshall didn't love that at all. Just said slightly maybe the Tennessee wouldn't go north of the 5 points as we think it's being called for the Tennessee being favored tomorrow over and under around 139. But it should be fun. It should be fun tonight at FedEx Forum to see the Grizzlies and the Milwaukee Bucks. And to talk about that and for us to congratulate and serenade him, once again and him to take a victory lap. I know he doesn't want to, but we're gonna have him take the bell lap at least. Peter Edmondson joins us now. Such a great job yesterday again, with really being the body and soul of this radio station every year for Toys for Tots. Peter, thank you. Great job again yesterday.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. I appreciate that a lot. But as you know, I mean, this whole thing is a tremendous effort of a lot of different people to put all this stuff together. Not least of which the Marines who are out there every year, and all of you guys for coming out and supporting it as much as you do, and you're always clad in the red vest. And
it's the least I can do.
I know you're always festive, which I appreciate. Everyone's really enthusiastic, which is great. That helps.
Did
so
you notice
much. And,
the vest was a little snug yesterday? Did you notice that?
I didn't notice, but that'll happen sometimes, Brett. That's okay.
I think
okay.
I don't know. I don't know how it shrunk over the summertime, but I think it did. I wonder maybe in that drawer something happened to it. I don't know how.
That's right.
But man, when I got out of that thing last night, it was like taking a darn straitjacket off.
You were wearing a corset, Brett. That's what you were wearing.
It felt
just
like
a corset.
It felt like it. Peter, I know you did this yesterday, and the good parent and the good father that you are, the good man that you are. I think the most rewarding thing for me out of the Toys for Tots Day is seeing people come out there with their little children, and they're donating because they're very blessed. They have very good fortune, but they want to instill in them the good feeling and the gift of giving. I saw it with your children yesterday, and I see it with many other parents that come out to it. That's my favorite part of the day.
Yeah, I think it's just really important for those of us that have done okay and that have been fortunate enough to be all right this time of year and to be able to give those gifts to our own kids. It's really important for them to know that that's a privilege and a gift and something that, there, by the grace of God, go all of us. So the least we can do is we can reach out a hand and help somebody else. And the quicker they learn that, and they're learning it. And then, I know my kids they're very enthusiastic about it and love to do it. And kids do. They get it. They get it. They want to help.
But sometimes better than us.
No, there's no for sure. And on top of that, they were happy to see Santa. Santa's over there, so they always
like to see Santa.
Have a little discussion with the big man to see what's going on.
And,
so that's always fun.
The two of us, we had a good Santa discussion. And Peter, you're right about us. So blessed in so many ways. Look, what we get to do for a living. I mean, just tonight. Tonight, I need to go to my first Grizzlies game of the year. I know every day how blessed I am. When the biggest thing I really have to worry about is a darn sweater maybe being a little too tight. You got it good.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it's easy for all of us. And Lord knows we live in very fraught times around here in the country and a lot of other places too. And it's very easy for all of us to forget that we're all friends. And it's saddened me. I've seen and I heard a friend of mine. He's going through some tough stuff with his family right now because of all the the political infighting and everything else that's going on. And we all have our opinions, and you and I have had some very strong discussions. But I hope events like yesterday understand that we can all, regardless of our affiliations and how you feel about what's going on, we gotta try our best to keep the main thing the main thing. We gotta keep those people and keep people first, and we can deal with all of our stuff and we can have disagreements and all that's very important. But let's not let it get in the way of being people and being empathetic and understanding what folks are going through.
So true.
That's what I hope. I hope we can do some of that this holiday season.
Amen, my brother. Tonight, the Grizzlies without Ja, the Bucks probably without Giannis. That's the way of this world now. Tomorrow night against the Washington Wizards, Ja will probably be back out there. He was out there on Wednesday in Phoenix and lit up the social media world as he's lighting up the NBA when he's out there. I don't want to castigate the Grizzlies. I know what they're doing, and I'm going to try to be more patient about it. But darn it, for the fans on a Friday night around the holidays time, it's a good time for them to see maybe the Rookie of the Year, and they won't tonight.
Well, I mean, that it just is unfortunate. I've certainly said my piece about it. When they did it last time around, and this time is a little more. if you're going to go this route, again, and the Grizzlies clearly are, and we've said that, they've made that very clear. This is how they want to do it. You know, their data indicates that this is the right thing to do for rookies, that they don't think that it's good for them to be just plowed right into the deep end. Long term, you know, they'll be fine, but short term, they need to make sure. And Jaws, you know, he's only played 19 games as a pro. You know, we forget that. But that 19 games represents, you know, about 2 to 2.5 months of his college season. You know, whereas it's about a little less than 7 weeks in the NBA season, and the games come thick and fast. And that's with him, you know, having missed them some time already. You know, if he had been fully healthy, he would have played 24 games by this point. So, you know, the schedule's different, and teams, you know, historically have just kind of plowed those guys in and said, okay, well, and then they talk about hitting the rookie wall. Well, they're trying to avoid the rookie wall. They're trying to avoid that kind of stuff. They're looking for the long term here, and so I get it. I don't have to love it because you know, going down there tonight, I want to see Ja. I certainly want to see Giannis. I'm extremely bummed out.
Me too. Only shot we get at
Giannis, because that's the only time you get to see Giannis, and he's legitimately hurt, or at least hurt enough to where he missed Wednesday night's game as well. So I don't think that's a rest situation as much with him and the Bucks. To be honest, I mean, they've won 16 straight, so they're doing okay. So you know, they probably see, well, the Grizzlies without Ja. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's no need to risk Giannis in a game like that. So I get it on everybody's side, but it's unfortunate for the people that are going down there. Like, it's just not nearly as much fun. And you get one chance to see the Greek Freak, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, and very well could be seeing him come NBA Finals time. When you look at the Bucks record, same record as the Lakers, they're out there playing at a torrid pace. They can afford some losses. One thing to watch tonight, I don't know, people would be completely transfixed on this, but the Grizzlies' new young head coach, Taylor Jenkins, against Mike Budenholzer, his coaching mentor.
Yeah, it's a special night for Taylor, I'm sure, and you know, the opportunity that he has to go up against his mentor, and it's a really neat thing. And Budenholzer's got a lot of talented assistants working for him, and he's going to have a pretty prolific tree. Sure, and he himself coming from the Popovich tree, so that's another one that's gone all over the place. And Jenkins gives so much credit to Budenholzer for what he was able to do and giving him freedom to operate and learn as an assistant, but also to show him the ropes and stylistically to teach him what's going on. I think you're seeing some of that already in the way that Jenkins runs the Grizzlies. So it is going to be a special night for him, regardless of who plays or who doesn't play. And I think the Grizzlies have, the last 2 games of that road trip, they put it together. The game against Phoenix in particular was that's a pretty decent Phoenix team, not great, but decent. And they beat them and played really well in the process. So I think they're learning a few things, Brett. It's going to take a little time, and obviously they're going to lose a lot more than they win. But I think you're starting to see them put a few things together.
That's the very familiar voice of Peter Edmiston. You hear him every morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. with C.J. Hurt on The Experience every morning, and you read him in The Athletic. Around the NBA, who first started? Who was at the forefront? The revolutionary of the travel, of the sleep deprivation, of the back-to-backs, of the maintenance. Who was out there that led all of this that now really has encompassed the entire league?
Yeah, there was there are a couple of different organizations, departments that have been known for this. A guy named Alex McKechnie in Toronto was a big forerunner on the sleep side of it, and the physical toll and doing that kind of stuff. What that was all about. They were on top of it, and you saw what happened last year with Kawhi and how well they managed him through the season. A lot of questions. It looks easy now in retrospect with Kawhi. It looks very simple what they did last year to win a championship. But we forget prior to that season, the big question was, can the guy play? What's the quad look like? And even, is he going to be, I mean, there were so many legitimate questions about that. And they did a masterful job of maneuvering him through that. Phoenix has also done a nice job historically of getting on top of that. The Spurs as well, organizationally, have put a lot of resources into managing the medical side. The Warriors did that with with their group as well, because God knows they got enough money to do it. So those are the teams that have been kind of on the forefront of it. And other teams are starting to catch up a little bit. A lot of money is being plowed into that side of it. There is, and that's really separating a lot of organizations, Brett. It's not something that's reported or talked about a whole lot, but there's no salary cap on that side of the ball.
None.
There is no cap on the amount of money you can put into your analytics department, your medical department, the stuff physically that your players are dealing with. Those kinds of things. You can go back to Mark Cuban and the outfitted charter planes and
the towels,
trying to get all that stuff, trying to get his players the best sleep that they can possibly get in those situations. So there is a competitive advantage with a lot of the organizations out there, and there's definitely some organizations that are lagging way behind. I know for the Grizzlies, they invested a bunch this summer in trying to catch up on some of those areas, and I think they have.
Have they? And are they wholly committed to it?
They are. They're certainly. That's one of the reasons why you're seeing what you're seeing with John Morant and Brandon Clark. They invested a bunch on that side in analytics, in data management, data analysis. Those sorts of things have been good. And the Grizzlies have, over the last few years, have pretty good track record in terms of their medical department in dealing with the challenges that they've dealt with. It hadn't always been the case, but they've worked hard in those areas. And I think Robert Parra, it's a language that he speaks, obviously, with his Silicon Valley background. So he's very familiar with that kind of stuff, and it's easy to sell him on the value of that. It's not so easy with some of these other owners, particularly the older school owners, to sell them on what it means to upgrade your algorithms that you're trying to develop within your data analysis and your machine learning department, that kind of stuff. Some of the older school owners say, "What the hell are you talking about? What is
right. This is how we've always done it."
Yeah, but Parra speaks that language, so that was not a hard sell for him. And the Grizzlies have definitely spent. They're very mum on it because there are competitive advantages to be gleaned from keeping it sort of opaque. But suffice to say, they certainly invested a fair bit in it.
And Peter, we know, and I think it was kind of first crystallized and made more aware about it from working with Rob Fisher and seeing how he traveled. And I don't care how nice the charter is, and I don't care how nice the hotel you're going to. There's something to takeoffs and landings. I don't care if you leave on the first plane out for Chicago on Monday morning from Memphis and you work all week there, and some people do that, into New York and other places, and then you come home late on a Friday. There's something to that, and used to how the Grizzlies would have traveled and everybody traveled. This week's a good case in point of it. You can just follow all the Grizzlies guys in traveling, how they do it on Twitter, and see when they take off. Used to, they would have played in Phoenix at 8 o'clock Memphis time, game over, 10:15, 10:30, media, post-game food, get dressed, shower. You know the drill. They would have been out by 11, 11:30, 11:45, bus to the airport, which isn't far from the arena in downtown Phoenix.
That's pretty close to Phoenix.
Yeah, wheels up, Memphis time, 12:30, land in Memphis, 3:30. Now, they didn't leave until the next afternoon. Didn't get back to Memphis yesterday until about 5. It's got to be something in all that data that's provable that crawling around all hours of the night can't be good for you.
Well, and that is definitely true. They are trying to find a better way. Essentially, the search now in the NBA is the search for consistent sleep. That's just, and it seems simple enough, but you're right. When people don't understand the schedule and how disruptive it is, and it's disruptive physically to your body, no matter how you sleep, whether it's a beautiful California King from in the Ritz-Carlton, if you get there at 3:30 in the morning and you wake up at 10 o'clock a.m.,
you're wiped
out. Go
out.
and exert yourself physically, try to get a nap in, then go and just bust your tail for 3 hours straight as hard as you possibly can, and then you get back and hop on a plane and fly to it's tough. It is tough. And I don't care where you sleep. It's not good for the body. And so a lot of this research has been done to figure out how can you get the body into a resting state as quickly as possible after a game? You know, you have elevated levels of adrenaline, you have elevated heart rate, you have elevated blood pressure because you've exerted yourself. There's a lot of players who take this on themselves. There are a few that are really hardcore about it, and they will attempt to get oxygen after the game and sit and relax and do certain things to calm their body down, to try to start the process of coming down from this high so that they can try to get that rest at an appropriate time. But, you know, anybody that's worked, and you know how it is, Brett, when you work a game, you know, you're not even playing in the game, but you work the game. And then you're calling the game, or you're part of the broadcast crew. You're doing the pregame, you're doing the postgame.
Adrenaline,
you got a little adrenaline. You got a little adrenaline rush just from all that stuff. You can't just go home and say, I'm going to go to sleep. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and it is the best drug and maybe the worst drug the body naturally produces, and that is adrenaline, and we know what too much of it does, and that crash and burn that happens. Grizzlies 8-16 tonight against Milwaukee, and then tomorrow night. Look, the fans that are disappointed about not being able to see Ja tonight, they'll see him tomorrow night and probably again on Monday, won't they?
I don't remember. Do you ever remember a 3 and 4 nights all at home? I don't remember that ever.
Peter, I don't, and especially not Friday, Saturday, Monday, but I don't remember one at any time. It's a lot of basketball at FedEx Forum.
I mean, that's a tough thing. I don't envy, even around this time of year, there's definitely a lot of people. And so I hope folks will come out and be a good crowd. But, yeah, that's tough, man. So, you're going out of the Forum, 3 nights out of 4 here, and that's, yeah, one or two of these games is just going to naturally suffer as a result. I don't care who you are.
Yeah. I got a feeling it could be Monday night. And I think I said it off the air to Dave yesterday. This may be the masterpiece that Eric Spoelstra is putting together with the Miami Heat, and they come to town Monday night.
Yeah, and they are – I still think they're probably about a piece away from being, really, really scary. Like, really, hey, we could beat the Sixers, the Bucks, the Celtics type thing. I still think they're a piece away. Is that piece, could you go out and get a Kevin Love? Could you go out and would the Raptors be interested in getting rid of Kyle Lowry? Potentially that, as well as the Raptors have played, they may have played their way too good and too much into contention to be able to make some of these trades that would make some sense for them longer term. Because Miami's all in. Their contracts, the way you go, you don't bring in Jimmy Butler the way they did unless you're all in, and they've done a really, really nice job. So, I think as trade season opens up, and this, by the way, is relevant, certainly because Sunday is the day that all the players who were signed in the summer become eligible to be traded. That once that happens, and that's about 40% of the league, once that happens, then you can see a lot more trades. So some of the discussions about Andre Iguodala, some of the discussions maybe involving Josh Jackson, from the Grizzlies' perspective, there are a few deals that potentially could be out there. All of it opens up more after Sunday.
Good deal, Peter. See you tonight downtown at FedEx Forum, and we'll be listening to you and CJ every morning, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on these radio stations. Again, great job yesterday, and look forward to seeing you tonight. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you and yours. I won't talk to you again for 2 weeks. I'm going to be away next Friday, but I'll be listening to you. Thank you, Peter.
Well, if I see you tonight, I hope so. Merry Christmas to you and yours, and it was a pleasure seeing you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Peter Edmiston from The Experience with CJ heard here every morning, and The Athletic on all things Grizzlies. Tonight at FedEx Forum, Grizzlies in Milwaukee. Tomorrow night, back-to-back against Washington. Then on Monday night, the Miami Heat, they come to town, and they're right there, I think, in second in the East. Milwaukee running away with it right now, and looks like they will be the 1 seed. Last year, Milwaukee got off to a good start, but not a start like this. But tonight they will be without Giannis, and they're gearing up to go for it. Haven't won it since 1971 when Lou Alcindor, and yeah, he was still Lou Alcindor then, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in his second or third year with the Bucks. They win it then. They haven't won it since. So a long time for. Well, the theme last year was We the North, and the Bucks can kind of we kind of the North. They're not quite as north as Toronto, but they're way up there.
I saw that they're going to have a G League team down in Mexico City too, and I was saying I thought it would be hilarious if it was the Raptors G League affiliate.
We the North and we the South.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Have it covered over 2 countries. That would be. And that was a really good crowd last night in Mexico City for one of the Mexico City games. This time of year, I know a lot of people are having holiday events, looking to have the big office party, and I know where you should cater. You should cater it with the great people at Jason's Deli. All the locations, Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. Catering anytime, anywhere, no order too large, and perfect for that office event or family event you may be having, a Christmas party you may be having this weekend. You don't want to do the food preparation? Let Jason's Deli do it. All the great salads, all the great meats, breads, spreads, cheeses, soups. I love all the soups at Jason's Deli, like the chili, the Texas chili, or just the chicken noodle soup, and the salads, the Mesa chicken salad, the chicken club salad, the nutty mix-up salad, and the taco salad. They have the original portion for the salads and also the lighter portion, both plenty of food. Jason's Deli is all about choice, regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the Build Your Own selection. You'll be delighted at Jason's Deli. Plenty of organic food to choose from, great salad bar, 30 items just on this salad bar, and the catering anytime, anywhere. And in these locations, Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova, wrap it up with the free ice cream. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com. We come back, we'll talk Tennessee and the Tigers. Vols and the Tigers tomorrow at Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville. We do it with Bert Bertelkamp, the analyst, alongside Bob Kessling on Tennessee basketball. That's up next. Drew's out today. He's headed to Knoxville. Dave's headed that way. Gabe Kuhn in with me, and you're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar, your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick. I love successes in business. 20 years ago, a guy named Matt Eflin decided when he graduated from the University of Memphis, he was going to get into the insurance business. And man, did he ever get into it. Now, he's got several offices around the area, all to protect you. The main one is in Bartlett, 8099 Stage Hills Boulevard. And the reason Matt is so successful, he's very young, but he's been so successful because he has a unique approach. He tries to have a one-on-one evaluation with each individual to check out their insurance needs. And he specializes in all types of insurance, personal insurance, business insurance. Basically, he sits you down and he asks you whether it's a business or whether it's your home, your family, what's the most important thing you want to protect? And then he figures out your options, collaborates with you, and voila, you're protected. 901-757-2315. That's the Eflin Insurance Group.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
So, how's the Christmas shopping going? Well, Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch is here to make it a lot easier. Everyone loves something from Frontier. Ladies' boutique-style clothing, Carhartt for the guys, and boots for everyone. In Frontier's boutique department, you'll find the latest trends at incredible prices with a huge inventory of basics like leggings, tops, tunic dresses, CC beanies, scarves, gloves, and more. New styles of fleece jackets by Simply Southern are this year's must-have item, and Frontier is stocked with new colors. Guys will be after the large assortment of Carhartt and Ariat jeans and shirts, maybe even a new coat, jacket, or insulated coveralls. Can't forget the boots, work boots and dress boots from Rocky, Dan Post, Ariat, and more. Frontier is the place to come for thousands of name brand boots for men, women, and kids at everyday low prices. Don't know the size or color to get? Then how about a Frontier gift card and let them pick it out? Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive Little Blue Pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. You pay just $30 for a month's supply. And right now, get your first online doctor's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/joy. That's right, free, zero copay, no expensive appointments, no awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription. Hims connects you to doctors online who can evaluate you and, if appropriate, prescribe your ED medication. And a pharmacy sends it right to your door. Hims makes it affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/joy.
Santa needs a new set of wheels, and he's going to Sunrise Chevy Buick GMC. Sunrise has hundreds of new and used cars and trucks. This time of the year, Santa's a little strapped for cash, but Sunrise has financing with no money down on approved credit and huge rebates for everyone. Sunrise has financing for everyone and specializes in secondary credit. That's good, because feeding all those L's, Santa's credit's not so hot. A $4 million used car inventory. Find new roads. SunriseMemphis.com. 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Thank you, Gabe Kuhn. Dave Woloshin on his way to Knoxville with the official traveling party. The Tigers bound for Knoxville. They'll land about 4:30, 4:45 or so Memphis time. We think Dave will rejoin us. He was with us to start the 3 o'clock hour, start the show with the Ryan Silverfield news, and we know he's got dinner plans tonight in Knoxville with the Tennessee announced crew with Bob Kessling and Burt Bertelkamp. Burt Bertelkamp, our next guest, he joins us now, analyst on Tennessee basketball alongside the voice of the Tennessee Volunteers, Bob Kessling. Burt joins us now. And Burt, last year, hard to believe, a year ago tonight, I was with you at the Grizzlies game, and the next day was all the festivities that led to a lot of passion around this game. How are you doing, Burt?
I'm doing great. You're right. It's hard to believe a year's gone by, but we watched Josh Richardson play. I think
sure did.
The Grizzlies were playing the Heat that night. Of course, Josh has since been traded, but it was a heck of a game last year. And you're right, there was a lot of energy and passion. What there always is. It's a great rivalry.
Well, Bert, that's where I wanted to start it here. It's so big to Tigers fans. What's it like in Knoxville among rank-and-file Tennessee fans? I know Kentucky is the rival in the SEC, but where do the Tigers in basketball rank as rival, as pecking order, as biggest enemy?
Well, I think there's several several SEC schools. You mentioned Kentucky, Florida, Vanderbilt would be right there, but Memphis being in-state, being such a strong basketball school, and our program, we're at the level where it is now. I think it's up in the top 5 for sure. People want to play Memphis. They enjoy the rivalry. I think it's good that they play, and both teams have a lot of respect for each other, and the players, a lot of them know each other certainly. So I think it's great. I think everybody here in Knoxville's excited. They've been a sellout for weeks. So it's going to be an exciting environment tomorrow, big time.
It sure sounds like it will be. And last year was very heated. And then after the game, it got a little bit off the rails with the coaches, and regardless of what precipitated and who started it. I do think they're both trying to diffuse that and tamp that down a little bit. But, Bert, I don't know if I started the show today, but somewhere in the first hour, I was talking about I don't ever want to get too preachy-fied at fans, because, first of all, they make us. No rain, no rainbows. No fans, no us. And you got to fully recognize that. And the fans, I think, now know they do have a lot of power with them being the ticket buying public. And we want passion around sports. Yeah, we don't want anything, really, out of bounds. But we want passion around it. And I think Rick Barnes and Coach Penny Hardaway tomorrow, they may get that quiet moment pregame and just say, let's play ball.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And I don't know exactly what happened either. I was sitting right there doing the game, and it was certainly a great game, a great environment. But I didn't really see what happened. But I think it's over with. There may be some normal fan activity, booing and yelling, but I don't think it'll be anything out of the ordinary. Anything that a normal good home crowd wouldn't do. I think Penny Hardaway's brought a ton of excitement to Memphis basketball. Obviously, his background being a Memphis guy, so he's made it. He's taken it up a few notches, but I think he's doing a great job. And Coach Barnes is top class, top guy, first class all the way. So I think it'll be a great ball game. I think everything that happened last year will just be pushed further back.
I think it will be too, and as it usually does, it will come down primarily to the players on the court. And it's very different players, very different teams this year than the one that played last year at FedEx Forum for both sides. For Tennessee, start there. Tell our listeners what is similar to last year and what's very different about this 2019-2020 Tennessee Volunteer basketball team.
Well, it's quite a bit different. When you lose four players, the quality that we lost with, Schofield, Williams, Bone, and Alexander, all of them a couple of them are in the NBA, a couple of them in the G League. You lose a lot, and those guys were multi-year players. They weren't one-and-done type players, so they really made their mark on the program. And with them being gone, I'm not sure. It's a high percentage of the productivity went out the door. But Lamonte Turner is a key player. He's played mostly off guard, but he's a combo guard, and he's playing point, the primary ball handler. And he's been around. He's a fifth-year senior. And Jordan Bowden, who's a senior, who's started for 4 years. He's off and on most of the time on. And they're the two leaders of the team, the two leading scorers, and they bring a lot of experience. And after that, we don't have a lot of experience. Eve Pons has been a very productive player, much improved over last year, especially offensively. Tremendous athlete. He's having a great year. And then John Fulkerson, who's he's a redshirt junior. So he's been in the program a while, but he's had injury problems, serious injury problems his first year. Took him a while to come back from that, but he's come back and he's really playing well for us. So those four guys average a double figure. So we got good balance. And Josiah James is a really talented freshman. He's not really turned himself loose offensively. He's been sort of deferring to the other players, but he's our leading rebounder, good defender, good ball handler. He's a great athlete. He looks like one of the Memphis players. I mean, he's just a pro body, just young. He's got a lot to learn.
Yeah, and the Tigers are very young, so it'll be a lot of new. Yeah. It'll be very different. Very different actors out there, very different players out there.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow, Bert. Rick Barnes has forgotten more about basketball than I know. Heck, man, I one time scored on an auxiliary goal during a game. I was that bad. So I'm sure not questioning his coaching ability, but I've said this a couple times. I said it in real time last year during the year. I thought he went away from Pons a little soon down the stretch of the year last year because he looked great in this game last year and has a really nice soft stroke.
Yeah, well, that shot is much improved. He just, I think Coach Barnes, I'm not sure exactly why he didn't play as much later in the year. He started for quite a while. he brought athleticism and really good defense, and that was the primary reason he played as much as he did. But offensively, he just couldn't help much, and he didn't play as much for whatever reason. I'm not sure, but he's key now, and he's had some really big games, and he's a tremendous athlete. So he'll have to play well tomorrow. We'll have to be able to go toe-to-toe with all the Memphis bigs, at least slow them down some. Backcourt, I think we got some experience there that in our maturity and being in front of a wild crowd will probably help our guys. And the Memphis guys may thrive in that environment. It's new. It's going to be new to a lot of them. So it'll be interesting to see how they react.
Now, a full compliment to Coach Rick Barnes. I think his year-over-year to guys that stay in a program, whether it was at Texas, whether it was at Clemson, whether it was way back at Providence and George Mason, I think even player development. And, Bert, that really matters. And sometimes, you get that 4-star, 5-star, and he's that same guy the last day with you as he was the first day, but not with Rick Barnes. He really develops his guys year-over-year that stay in the program.
You're exactly right. That's one of the keys to his success. And I think they do a good job, as good as they can, on the front end when they're recruiting these young men to make sure they're coachable. Mm-hmm. Because if you can't take coaching, hard coaching, you don't want to come play for Coach Barnes. And I think he's pretty honest with the high school players he's recruiting. Here's the way it is. And so you're going to get better if you do what he says, and if you don't do what he says, you're not going to last.
And in this transfer world, Bert, I think it is important to be straight with them in recruiting. You got to let me coach you. I'm going to coach you hard. This is what's expected, and if you don't want it, go somewhere else.
That's right. Because the first time things get tough, if they're not used to that, then I'll go the transfer. I'll just transfer, and I hope they make it so. It seems kind of arbitrary now how they make the decisions, but if you have to sit out a year, it gives you, it slows down that process.
I don't want you to give away scouting report or any inside info, but tell our listeners what you see when you look at this Penny Hardaway Memphis Tigers team.
I see tremendous potential. Upside is phenomenal. They got great young talent. They got big guys. They're long. Precious Achua looks like an NBA player, and I really love how hard he plays. But I've seen him 2 or 3 times. I saw most of the Ole Miss game, and I think for a young team, they really play hard. They must be pretty good defensively. They're holding their opponents to 64 points a game. So I see just a team that's going to get better and better and better as they get used to each other. Like you said, you're playing, 6 freshmen, 5 or 6 freshmen. And, of course, the Wiseman situation, that's a tough deal. But, DJ Jeffries, Boogie Ellis, Damian Ball, they're really good players. And then Harris and Lomax have improved as well, and I guess they're coming off the bench. But looks like they're playing about half the game. So it's a very talented team.
And, Bert, after the first year, the Cavalry owned the way with James Wiseman and Quinones getting well. Quinones to be back before then. But both of these teams, this time last year, I really did. I wasn't blowing smoke with you when I saw you on that Friday night when we were talking about that team. I really thought Tennessee was a Final Four team. It came a little bit undone. But a lot of times in sports, that next year, it can surprise you. Tennessee could be around at the end, and Memphis could sure be around at the end.
You never know. Tennessee's going to have to get improved play off the bench if we're going to make it, because you know how the season is. It's a marathon, and when you're in the SEC, you're playing night after night against tough competition. And you can't win with 6. You're going to have foul trouble. You're going to have sickness. You're going to have some injuries. So if our bench develops and they get to the point where they're really part of the rotation where they're really comfortable, I guess is the word, we could have a really good team.
Bert, on scheduling, do you like the SEC away from East-West in 2 18 games, or would you prefer maybe back to divisions?
I like the divisions and play divisions teams twice and then play everybody else once and rotate. But and it's unrealistic. But what I really liked was playing everybody twice. Mm-hmm. But now with 14 teams in our league, you can't do that. But I did like the divisions.
And when you played at UT, it was you're going to see everybody at home, and you're going to go there.
Yeah, home and away every year, and they develop rivalries anyway. But you really develop rivalries when you play everybody twice each year. Plus, in the SEC tournaments, you're going to play some more than that. So I like that, but that's, I guess, a thing of the past.
And the SEC looks to be loaded this year. I don't know how many bids, and a little early for me to talk as much as I've already talked about Final Four and being around at the end. A little early for me to talk bid talk, but it could be 7, 8. I don't know if it more than that. And Arkansas, if you hadn't watched them, much improved, and you'll love watching them and seeing how hard they play on that defensive end for Eric Musselman. Man, they play their tails off. You'll love it.
Yeah, he's a good coach. He really is a good coach, and I think there's certainly several new coaches in the league that are gonna make a difference. But I think the league's pretty deep. Auburn's got a really good team. Mississippi State's got a good team. Florida, not off to a great start, but potentially a great team. A lot of new players, and of course Kentucky's Kentucky, and we've got a nice team. So it's going to be a tough league for sure.
It will be. In Georgia, much improved, and that guy
Georgia
can really, really coach. A lot in others that we left out. I think Vandy's improved under Jerry Stackhouse. Bert, thank you. Enjoy dinner tonight with the Memphis crew. Treat them well. I know you will. And we look forward to talking to you as we get into SEC play, and look forward to tomorrow. And best of luck to you and the Vols, and happy holiday season to you and yours. Thank you, Bert.
Okay. Take care. Merry Christmas.
You got it. Bert Bertelkamp from the Tennessee announced team. He's analyst alongside Bob Kessling. I said to Dave, I think it was on Wednesday, we were here in the studio, and I was coordinating with getting Bert on, and Dave was coordinating going to dinner with him tonight at a venerable Knoxville place, famous for a lot of fun Friday nights around football season. It's not a fun Friday night around basketball season. I think Bob Kessling has the two best analysts that I listen to. I listen to a lot of radio calls and interested, want to hear what they're doing, try to make what I do with Ole Miss or us with Ole Miss, better, and this good thing. But I think Bob Kessling's two analysts. I love listening to Tim Priest alongside him in football, and I love Bert Bertelkamp alongside Bob in basketball. I think that's the best combo of the analysts around the SEC. There are a lot of good ones, but I really enjoy listening to them, and it will be fun tomorrow at Thompson Bowling. He talked about the sellout. It will be hot and heavy in there at 2 o'clock tomorrow, and the Tigers will come out of that with a win, and or they lose, and they will gain valuable experience. But if they get that win, then after that, it's go Tennessee go, because that helps in the RPI world.
I think this game for them, looking down the stretch of that, American Conference schedule, this is going to go a long, long, long way for their tournament hopes, where they want to be seated, where they want to be in the RPI. So I think, when you look at it, they need to come in and really try and take it to the Vols at their place.
And cuts both ways without Wiseman and Quinones. You win it, somebody in that selection committee room's got to say, well, they beat Tennessee on the road without those cats. I mean, without those two big pieces. And then when they get back, I think the Tigers will be just like we thought they would be in the preseason. I didn't change any of my W's and L's after the NCAA ruling on Wiseman or the injury to Quinones. I still think they will, 3 or 4 losses, and you got to go looking for them in AAC play. Got to go looking for great food at the Germantown Commissary or the Collierville Commissary. It's easy to find at both places. The new Collierville Commissary, Houston Levy and Poplar, are the original in Germantown. Memphis-style barbecue and ribs, delicious and authentic, and it screams Memphis-style great food. Begin your barbecue feast with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. The smoked chicken wings are fantastic. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich, a big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. It comes with beans, slaw, deviled eggs, and bread as well. You can even order it by the pound or a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 12-pack at the Germantown Commissary or the Collierville Commissary. Also, don't forget the 36-hour bird. If you had it at Thanksgiving, I know you're going to have it at Christmas. If you didn't have it at Thanksgiving, you need to have it at Christmas. Or the hams, call them at 754-5540 or go online at commissarybarbecue.com in Collierville and Germantown. Great party areas, orders to go, catering for game watching tomorrow to watch the Tigers in Tennessee. Tailgating when we get back around to college football time. Or if you want to tailgate at your own house and watch the bowl games, you can do it. Germantown and Collierville Commissary, Walker Taylor, he has done it the right way at both great locations, at the Germantown Commissary and at the Collierville Commissary. When we come back, want to get Gabe's thoughts more on the news of the day. Ryan Silverfield, permanently named the head coach of the University of Memphis Tigers. He will replace Mike Norvell going forward, not just for the bowl, but on opening day next year, 2020, against Arkansas State at the Liberty Bowl, and we hope for a long time. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Whether you're a casual golfer or an avid golfer, let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you fill your wish list with the season's best deals in golf. Featuring special holiday offers from Callaway. Save $10 on Callaway Chrome Soft and Chrome Soft X golf balls, now $34.99 a dozen. And the new Callaway Jaws MD5 wedge for only $159.99. And while you're there, register to win free golf balls for a year. The Edwin Watts Golf Holiday Sale is at our new location in the Ridgeway Trace Shopping Center. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know: Benswinger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 125 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Benswinger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Benswinger Glass in Midtown, located at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit their website, benswingerglass.com. Benswinger Glass.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, General Manager, Infinity of Memphis, your source of calm and logic in an otherwise hectic and chaotic holiday season. In that regard, I'm here to tell you that we won't be participating in Black Friday. We've all been led to believe that Black Friday is the day for very special deals. If you get out of bed at some ridiculous hour, stand in line in the cold, and risk life and limb in what usually ends up in a stampede. Getting a special deal on a new vehicle should never be that difficult. In fact, it should be easy, simple, and fun. And that's what we do Monday through Saturday, 52 weeks a year. I say, bah humbug to Black Friday. It's too complicated and restrictive. The Infinity Limited Engagement Winter Event, with the most attractive offers of the year on the entire line of Infinity luxury performance vehicles, is on through January 2nd. Come see us at your convenience.
Find out more about this and all other offers online at infinityofmemphis.com.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
We think Dave will catch back up with us about 5:30 when he gets to Knoxville safe and sound. It's fun visiting with Burt Bertelkamp. It'll be fun tomorrow. I like this game, and I hope we can continue it past next year. I know if the Tigers went out and won big tomorrow, they need to tell Tennessee, all right, we'll keep the contract for next year. Let's start talking extension. Let's start talking about continuing this thing out there, because it needs to be played. And I like it at this time of year rather than when 1 versus 2 was in February, kind of as the appetite leading into the season. But the big news of the day, Ryan Silverfield, press conference has been held. He's been named the new head coach of the Memphis Tigers. Gabe, you know him well. You played for him. You've sweat and bled and fought alongside him. And I know you're very pleased you were for it big.
Absolutely. I think it was the right decision. I see where people, their reservations are. He's never called plays. But I'm here to tell you, I mean, you talk about offensive minds, and a lot of people wanted an offensive guy instead of the Barry Odoms of the world or the Dan Lannings of the world. But I think he has this offense just about as well, if not better, than Norvell. He's the reason, when you look at that run game, that it took off. I mean, under Fuente, there was never a 1,000-yard rusher, and now it seems year in, year out, you could have one, if not two,
a galaxy of stars,
1,000-yard rushers.
Always having that fresh back. Look, I know I brought it up a couple of times, and I'm sorry for being repetitive, and I don't want to be a broken record, but I saw the Tigers 2 times in person, last Saturday in the AC Championship game. But I go back to opening day, kind of a low to the ground game, 15-10. Ole Miss is saved all 3 timeouts, about 6. I had to look at the play chart, to 6:50 to play, and the Ole Miss with 3 timeouts. And I'm thinking this is the time, either get them off the field, maybe not 3 and out, but get them off the field, make them punt, or turn over Brady White. Ole Miss never touched the ball again.
With him, it was very clear that his groups control the line of scrimmage. So I guess I'll judge a guy based on what his job was and how well he did that job. And when you look at him being an O-line coach, a run game coordinator, part of the game planning offensively, he has done not just a good job, not just a great job, but an exceptional job at what he's done. And I always bring this up because I think it's just the most interesting fact ever. You talk about the Joe Moore Award, about the O-lines, the best O-lines in the country. The fact that he had a group of 5 school up for that award that could have won it with an 8-6 record, that doesn't happen. I mean, it literally does not happen where you have a group of 5 school in the conversation with the Bama O-lines of the world, with the Georgias of the world. It never happens. Notre Dames of the world. It just does not happen. And I really can't stress enough that he did mean a lot to what that offense did. And I don't know if people are giving him the amount of credit he deserves for that role.
Behind the scenes, as a coach, quiet confidence. When he's got to yell, he can yell. Tell our listeners what he's like on some times that the cameras aren't around.
He holds you accountable. I'll tell you that much. I mean, he's very, very similar to Norvell in that manner. I think he's, mild-mannered until he has to, climb into someone, right? Because it's, you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds. A lot of times they
need instruction.
They need instruction. He'll give that to them. He will. He's a player's coach, though, at the end of the day. He's there for his guys. If you have a problem.
We were just talking about player development with Bert. I know I asked you on Tuesday in our segment with you, and I think we landed on Trayvon Tate being the one. The ball of clay that he got with him, then he formed him into the player. He can do the player development thing.
Absolutely. And then, Dustin Woodard. You talk about Dustin Woodard is 6'0", 290 pounds, and he is a all-conference selection 2 times in a row. I mean,
kind of the Alan Cross of the O-line.
Yeah, and not to mention me. I'll say, I'll put it out there. The fact that I ended up being an all-conference player is crazy considering, what I was before he got there. He taught me, I will genuinely say he taught me how to play football. I really believe that. I really do, because
you just thought you knew the game until
I thought I knew, and then he got there, and then there's just these struggles you have. But he walks you through it. He walked every guy in that room through it. And, I mean, you talk about player development, maybe not a lot of the O-linemen end up in the NFL, and I don't think we had a lot of guys that were really, the size and the strength and, built for that. But I think what he's been able to do and getting that unit together to play well enough to block for these Kenny Gainwells, these Darrell Hendersons, these Tony Pollards, it speaks to who he is.
And sometimes the youngster, the player, he's got to do it too. I'll call a name. It was a shame to see on the last day he was at Ole Miss, it was the same players the first day, and I thought that was Robert Kimdichie.
Happens all the time.
And it was sad that he wouldn't tap into it, or they couldn't bring that out of him.
Yeah, and it's just so frustrating. It's just so frustrating. I think
when he had all the natural tools everybody dreams of
absolutely,
having.
And I think there's a lot of guys on that staff, especially they had this year and last year, especially under Norvell, that were able to get that out of people, and hopefully a couple of them are able to stay, and we'll see that continue.
1 hour to go on this busy Friday afternoon. Andy Schiffman talks basketball with us to start the 5 o'clock hour every Friday. We will visit with him about the NBA and the Grizzlies and some of his clients. We also have our Friday football forecast at 5:30 from First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. And we'll wrap it up at 5:45 or so with Taco Bell Crunch Time. We think Dave will join us at some point in this hour after starting with us from the airport in Memphis. We hope he has safely arrived in Knoxville and will join us about 5:30. Gabe Kuhn in today for Drew Barrett. Drew's on his way to Knoxville for the big game tomorrow. I told him I was good for bail bond money if he needed it.
I hope it doesn't end up that way.
I hope it doesn't get down to that. 1 hour to go on this Friday afternoon. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Gabe Kuhn on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
You're scrambling around. You need a haircut. Where you gonna go? I got a place that has 15 locations. I've got a place where details matter. I've got a place that can be invigorating and relaxing at the same time. You know what it is. It's Supercuts. Every haircut ends with the signature hot towel finish. Every haircut matters. When you're getting ready, you go into Supercuts. The stylist will pay attention to every detail. So you get the haircut you want, and, of course, you're going to finish with that signature hot towel. You walk out clean, sharp, and not just ready, but super ready. And you might want to ask that hairstylist about what the tea tree experience is. One part invigorating, one part relaxing. The tea tree experience is something you need to try. 15 locations. I mentioned that, didn't I? All you've got to do is go to supercuts.com. You'll find the one nearest to you. Get super ready at Supercuts. There's a new commissary in town. In Collierville, Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. For more than 26 years, they've supplied all the diesel parts that you need. From simple repairs to complete overhauls, they have it all. Whether it's heavy, medium, light duty, agricultural, marine, or off-road, Mid-South Power is the leading source for all things diesel. Fuel injection, turbochargers, engine parts, alternators, starters, and brakes, they can supply all the parts and services you need. Stop in today at 3250 Mill Branch Road in Memphis or call 901-396-0710.
Need Christmas gifts for friends, family, even yourself? Now's the time to buy at Family Leisure. Buy one item for someone special, you get the second for yourself at half off. Pool tables as low as $14.99. Hot tubs as low as $1,400. Arcades as low as $9.99. Massage chairs, you can get one as low as $6.99. There's so much to choose from now through Christmas Eve. Get your Christmas shopping done at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family fun and the holidays all come together.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Thank you, Gabe. Final hour of a fun, busy, festive week. We'll visit with Andy Schiffman. We do it this time on Fridays to talk all things NBA after I tell you about the title sponsor this hour, and that's DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road down in DeSoto County. You can visit them online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. Very high standards at DeSoto Auto Sales. All the cars test-driven, checked out quite literally from head to toe, bumper to bumper, and unlimited inventory at DeSoto Auto Sales. Every make, every model, if it's not on the lot, they'll go out and find it for you. No shortcuts taken at DeSoto Auto Sales, where you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere, no high-pressure sales at DeSoto Auto Sales, but they do make you this promise. They're very aware that we're living in a world today that time matters, and they want you to have the ultimate car experience. You walk in the door within 45 minutes, test drive your car, credit approved, finish the paperwork, and you're out of there at DeSoto Auto Sales down on Goodman Road, 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Check out the referrals at DeSotoAutoSales.com. Town and country experience, come on down to DeSoto County to DeSoto Auto Sales on Goodman Road. We talked the NBA with Andy Schiffman. And, Andy, I'm going to the Grizzlies game tonight, but I won't see Ja, but I'm starting as an old guy, I'm starting to understand this load management and the maintenance. I see why the Grizzlies and why teams are doing it for down the road, because there's not anything down the road this year for the Grizzlies, but it might be in a few years. And if you can save a little wear and tear and tread off the tires of Ja Morant in 2022, why not do it on a Friday night against the Bucks? Good afternoon, Andy.
Hey, Stats. How are you?
Doing great. Do you like the whole load management debate?
Well, since I am on the player representation side, I can definitely make the argument that it is a positive. So with Ja and with, Brandon Clark is one of our guys as well that we talk a lot about. It's beneficial for them in the long run. Like you said, the Grizzlies are not playing for anything right now other than to continue to develop their young core of players. And so now you're coming up on a stretch here where they're playing 3 games in 4 days. They got a back-to-back today and tomorrow. And so realistically, you have to think from a long-term perspective and a management perspective. Does it make sense to potentially risk further injury or further aggravation to put these guys through, unnecessary wear and tear on their bodies when especially both of those guys are coming off minor injuries? Think about it. I mean, Brandon and both Ja and Brandon, they were playing 30, 35 games last season. Then I talked about this last week. You go from a college season to training for the NBA draft to flying around, working out for teams. Now, granted, Ja probably had limited travel and limited NBA team workouts. Brandon definitely did his fair share of NBA workouts, going through everything that you go through at the NBA Combine, then straight into Summer League. There's really not much downtime for these guys, for these young men, and it can really absolutely negatively impact their bodies, and their bodies are an asset. They're an investment worth millions and millions of dollars by these NBA owners, and I think a lot of times people lose sight of that these are investments, and you have to protect your investment.
That is a great point, and I don't want to be too graphic. I sure don't want to sound insensitive, but they're quite literally with the retirement plan and with the CBA, there's an amortization schedule for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, 100%. You're exactly right.
And people often don't quite look at it like that. You know, tonight when I get to the game, I'll get the game notes, and he'll say somewhere at the top of the game notes, game 25 of 82. Man, after tonight, 57 more.
I mean, in game 25 in the collegiate season, that takes you, to beginning of February a lot of times, maybe very end of January. And we are, a month behind that, and then you go another month in the NBA, you're playing another 15 to 25 games in some cases, depending on the schedule. Not to mention cross-country travel. The games are longer, so there's just so many little factors that go into it. And so it's definitely something now that you have to take into account if you're going to compete in this league.
And Andy, I didn't appreciate it at all before we got a team in Memphis. And then, the first few years, it was such the honeymoon effect, and, we're finally in the major leagues. I'm going to say around 06, 07 season, and in a conversation with Sean Toohey, when he was doing the games, he really impressed on me how long everything in this darn league is. You said that the games are long. I mean, you look at a college game, 40 minutes, and then you add 8 more minutes to it, an NBA game, and then that season, and then those road trips, and it encompasses about every holiday on a calendar. From Halloween through, if you go to the NBA Finals, through almost to Father's Day.
Well, even prior to Halloween now, with the preseason games, they cut down a couple of those games, but you're talking about training camp into potentially 5 or 6 preseason games. Well, some of these teams, like the Lakers or Sacramento, did this preseason. They're flying over to Europe or to China to play preseason games. And you think about that travel and what that does to these players on their bodies, and it's definitely becoming more and more of an issue moving forward. And we talked about it last week. It may upset a lot of fans, but again, if you're a fan of the specific team, you'd rather be able to see a healthy Brandon Clark and a healthy John Morant and et cetera, the rest of the roster for years to come, than see them play every single game this year, and just this extreme wear and tear on their bodies begins to break them down over time.
And I think teams are doing a better job of explaining it, of being transparent to their fans. And for here, solely through the Grizzlies prism, you have to look at it as paying a little bit of a price now for a big reward later.
And I personally don't think it's too far-fetched to decrease the number of games in the NBA season. I think it's something that will continue to be talked about. Will it ever be implemented and take effect? It's not for me to say, but I think it's something that will have to become a topic of conversation between the NBPA and the NBA league office as this continues to become an issue. The NBA continues to talk about globalization of the sport and of the league, and so then if you do get to the point where domestic teams are now flying out of the country to play games, you absolutely cannot have the parity that you have in the NBA while maintaining the same number of games, the same schedule, everything we were talking about now.
Andy, what do you think we'll see first? A real reduction? I'm not talking about maybe just the 78 in the NCAA tournament or the in-season tournament for the NBA. A real reduction in games or expansion of 2 more teams, probably 1 to Mexico City?
It's a tough question. If you were asking me, I would probably say the expansion of the league and potentially including Mexico City. And obviously Seattle's continued to talk about adding another team, potentially moving a team already in the NBA. Vegas as well. I mean, they added a football team and not football, the hockey team, and they ended up winning They didn't win the Stanley Cup last year, right?
Well, got to the finals, Yeah,
I got to the finals. So absolutely, I think that's probably more likely. But it's not to say that reducing the number of games is unlikely. I think they're both realistic possibilities. I think the NBA is a sport like all professional sports where you always have to consider evolving and ways to reach different markets and new fan bases, because the fan base continues to evolve. And with social media now, everything is just on such a grander scale, and you have to account for that from a business perspective.
And I would almost guarantee what your answer is going to be. But your client, Brandon Clark, I bet you he wants to play 82 games, but you and the team, you have to convince him this is really better in the long run. And for you, you got to tell him, Brandon, the money's not going down. This is really a smart thing to do.
Absolutely. And Brandon gets it. He's just such a smart young man. And, there are other players that might not quite get it like Brandon does, but he understands, and what's most important to him, obviously, is his overall health, as it is for every player. But I love Brandon because he wants to play every second of every game. And I was actually recently in Memphis after the Utah loss, and we were talking about his opportunity and his minutes and his role, and you can just tell, like, he just wants to play because he wants to impact winning. And anybody that talks to Brandon or has met Brandon, you can truly feel that vibe from him, that he just wants to leave it all out the floor, whether he's scoring 0 points or 25 points, whatever he can do to impact the game to help you win. But it does still make for a tough conversation at times to say, hey, we got to pull it back. You're not going to play in this coming back-to-back. You're going to be out for these reasons. But again, luckily, with a guy like Brandon, he absolutely understands it and appreciates it.
Andy Schiffman, our guest, every Friday at this time, talking NBA. And Andy, I think, lost to a lot of people. Sometimes, to us, it maybe get a little cynical and jaded by the number of games we might go to and all the action and stuff that we watch and keep up with. They really like playing basketball.
Believe it or not, they do. They get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
But they're doing it for a reason, and they're playing a game that they absolutely love. So that does get lost. You're right. I think a lot of people kind of outside this arena will just think that athletes are overpaid and they're making too much money, and they're getting this much money. How are they sitting out? This is impossible. But you are not a professional athlete that is putting your body through all this extreme wear and tear every single night in a very, very physical, fast-paced game. And so it's unrelatable to anything that you and I can fathom.
And the money's there because the market decides it. The money's there. The owners are making it. The league's making it. Naturally, the players that make it all go, and we might get to to some labor strife in a year or so with the NBA. And it's been a while since that. I hope we don't. I hope it gets resolved. But look, you got to have the players. The NFL proved back in the 80s there's no appetite for replacement players. Yeah, those uniforms might have been 49ers and Cowboys and Raiders and Giants, but that wasn't NFL level of play, and I don't think anybody would ever try that again. Milwaukee in town here tonight, 22-3, just like the Lakers, 22-3. Smooth 880 basketball. That's a torrid start, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, the Bucks organization has done such a great job of surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo with very winning. I guess I would say winners. That's the best way to say it. Winners. Players that buy in to what they're doing in Milwaukee. I mean, a guy like Chris Middleton and his overall evolution and progress from the time he's come into the league to now, playing alongside a guy like Giannis, and Kyle Korver, turned down an opportunity to go play with the Lakers to come play in Milwaukee with Giannis. And there's young players, one of our clients, Sterling Brown, is on the roster. Obviously they've done a great job of drafting. DiVincenzo's a good young player. Pat Connaughton's really been good for the Bucks. But again, they don't have egos on that team. And I think that absolutely starts with your superstar in Giannis, because he doesn't have an ego. He's fun to play with. He's fun to watch. He's fun to coach. Everyone has bought into their coaching style. But again, this is now evolving into 3 years, let's say, because they weren't quite this level 3 years ago. They really made that turn probably last year to where you really could see this is a championship-level team, and they're sustaining that success right now.
And most markets have to do it like Milwaukee's trying to do it. Very evolutionary.
Built through the draft.
Exactly. Very few can kind of go 0 to 700 like the Lakers did this offseason.
Yep. I mean, they've gotten good free agents. They've added players through trades like Eric Bledsoe, but primarily they're building through the draft. And again, obviously, we're in Memphis. We're talking about the Grizzlies. It's something that I'm sure the front office of the Grizzlies is trying to emulate.
Yeah, it feels like with Taylor Jenkins being the head coach that it's kind of trying to emulate the Bucks way with Budenholzer.
Yeah, there's a reason why a lot of these young coaches are plucked from other winning programs Taylor was in Milwaukee last year with Coach Bud. Obviously, Bud, I believe, is the prodigy of the whole Popovich tree, like most of the NBA, it seems like. These young coaches, teams want to bring them into their own organizations and kind of try and take a page out of their book from previous years. And, okay, well, how did you win in Milwaukee? How did you win in San Antonio? What were you guys doing? What were the sort of players you had and the personnel that you had to coach? And then let's follow that model. Let's follow that blueprint.
I thought the Lakers would be good. I didn't think they would be this good this quickly, and they could really steamroll. I mean, they could be a 65-win team.
Absolutely. I mean, you and I talked about it last week. I thought the exact same thing. I thought there would be chemistry issues between those guys, Anthony Davis and LeBron, and even adding DeMarcus Cousins. I am pleasantly surprised, let's say, on their success. They're on a complete tear. But I'm excited to watch the game that's coming up here in about 45 minutes. They're in Miami. Miami is a great young team to watch. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere tonight. So I'm really excited to see the Lakers face off against the Heat. I think that's the game to watch for tonight.
Andy, we are very simpatico. I promise you, in my notes, I was leading right in to the Grizzlies' Monday night opponent, the Miami Heat. Look, it's not a 22-3 clip. It's just 18-6, smooth running 750 basketball for the Miami Heat, and the job being turned in. I said earlier, talking NBA, maybe the masterpiece being hung up on the wall by Eric Spoelstra and vis-a-vis Pat Riley.
And I think the key there, Stats, is they've gotten Jimmy Butler to buy into team basketball. And you look at his track record in previous years going from Chicago to Minnesota, Philadelphia, there's a reason he's always changing teams. And I think if he can continue to play at the level he's playing, so I've watched a lot of the Heat this season already, and he has really become a facilitator, and he enjoys playing with these kids, with these young players in Miami, and Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, Bam Adebayo, and he's making sure they're involved, and it's not all about Jimmy Butler. And so I think that will be key for their continued success, but in return, their continued success will be key for Jimmy to realize, hey, I can play this way and still have my name and notoriety on the level that I want it to be, but also compete for potentially an Eastern Conference Finals and potentially an NBA championship. While it will be difficult, I think the Heat have really impressed a lot of people. And again, they're also another team that can be really, really good for years to come because they've built through the draft. They do a phenomenal job of finding hidden gems like Kendrick Nunn, who we've talked about in the past, who was in the G League. A lot of players have gone through that system, whether it's in the G League or on a two-way contract. Duncan Robinson, I believe, was on a two-way contract previously, and now they're really they're clicking on all cylinders is the best way to say it for Eric Spoelstra and the Heat this season.
And the other end of the East, we talked to Milwaukee and Miami. At the other end, it's Atlanta, Cleveland, and the Knicks, and all feel a little hopeless. I don't want to drag you into hiring and firing coaches, but do you think John Beilein might have thought, boy, I could have just stayed in Ann Arbor and had a good year with the Wolverines?
I'm sure that thought has crossed his mind. We've got a couple players on the Cleveland Cavs, Larry Nance and Dylan Windler. I'm actually heading there next week, so it's definitely a tough environment and tough atmosphere. That's really all I could probably shed light on that situation. I was at the Bulls-Hawks game the other night. We have a few guys in the Hawks, and that is also a very, very troublesome situation, just watching the lack of chemistry. And, without naming names, I personally believe it's not all coaching. I think there are certain players that these teams might have that are just tough to play with. And that's really, really difficult. A difficult position for a head coach because you can only do so much with what you're given. And you can have all the talent in the world, but if your guys aren't buying in and they're just not enjoying buying into what you're preaching and playing team basketball, no matter the individual talent, you're set up for failure.
And Andy, I know you're with me and with the whole NBA basketball world, and a lot of people in Memphis that really owe a big debt and a lot of gratitude and a lot of thanks to the former commissioner, David Stern. The news of his health woes yesterday. What he took over in the late 70s from Larry O'Brien, who did a good job as NBA commissioner, but it had really leveled out. The games were on tape delay. We know the problems with the league. And then the expansion of the league, the globalization of the league, what David Stern did, and David Stern delivered for Memphis. He was always in there fighting for us. He believed in small market basketball, and he believed in Memphis, and he really believed in Mike Heisley.
No, absolutely. And keeping him in my thoughts. I mean, for those that may not know, I think he had a brain hemorrhage yesterday and had emergency brain surgery, and everyone should kind of keep monitoring him. And I know the NBA world is definitely keeping David Stern in their thoughts and prayers, and so I hope everything is okay. But I think just like you said, Stats, I don't think Memphis truly realizes that he was the front runner in pushing for Memphis to be an NBA franchise. And just bigger picture, he has turned the NBA into what it is today. And Adam Silver has continued to pick up where he's left off and done a tremendous job so far. But in terms of the overall evolution and progress and just exponential success, we'll call it, over the last 2 or 3 decades in any professional sports realm, I would absolutely say David Stern is at the top of that list for what he's done for the game of basketball really all over the world.
I think so, Andy, and I think I could enter into, and more than just if I was just tasked that, I think I could do it sincerely and wholeheartedly. I could make a case of him being better than Pete Rozelle was, and everybody, properly deifies Pete Rozelle.
No, 100%. I mean, just look at, like you said, you look at where the NBA was in the 70s and 80s, and you look at the influx of superstars and how that was all managed in terms of the media and just the globalization and the commercial aspects of the sport. And now, if you travel out of the country and you ask someone what they prefer to watch in terms of professional sports, I mean, outside of soccer, in terms of American sports, you're going to have
the world sport,
NBA fans
basketball
everywhere. And, we've had players that travel over to China on the other side of the world every summer, and they always come back and they tell me, it's unlike anything either. One of our guys actually kind of got roughed up a little bit because when he got off the plane and got to the airport, when he landed, just a mob of fans and wearing his jersey, just rushing him, and security. You can't stop that just because there's so many people there. And it's all about the NBA. They're able to watch games there, and it's tremendous. And it all started with what David Stern did, and that is not an easy task. You talk about taking a multi-billion-dollar corporation that has really teams and offices, let's call it, throughout the United States, and branching that out and extending that reach to the entire world and doing it successfully over a relatively short amount of time. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, the 80s were really good to him. Now, he had some big brand stars, but he helped develop. Andy, thank you so much. And I told you I'm going to be away next Friday. I know Dave will catch up with you, and y'all will visit. Happy holiday season to you, the Hanukkah season to you and yours, and I look forward to visiting in 2 weeks, and then we'll storm into 2020 together. Thank you, Andy.
Appreciate it. Sounds good. Take care. Thanks.
You got it. Talking NBA with Andy Schiffman every Friday at 5 o'clock, and it's been a lot of fun. It will be into the new year. And I wish Ron Tillery, we probably need to catch up with Ron next week, because he really knew how hard, and he was there chronicling it and doing those stories and reporting on it from afar. And then when he got here as the beat guy, of just what an advocate that David Stern was for Memphis, and the relationships that he had with a lot of people around town. Some people would know the names, and others would not. But David Stern was really pro-Memphis, and I think more for Memphis over St. Louis and Louisville, some of the other prospective cities at the time when Vancouver and Mike Heisley was looking to get out of town. And, well, documented that Michael Heisley was not going to be one of those deals of we'll come and we'll see how the appetite is for basketball. It's no, you build FedEx for them, and then we show up, and I want my check when I get to town. I don't blame him. It's business. He took it up front, but David Stern in there advocating for Memphis, and I've said many times, look, I don't know where in the fandom order the NBA for me it is. I know I'm glad we have the Grizzlies, but people that know me know how much I love baseball and college and pro football. But I can't imagine around here now without the Grizzlies. And I remember around here without the Grizzlies. We made it. I don't know if it was real fine, but we made it. But I don't want to chance it without them. And it's important for them to make it, and David Stern was a big piece of it.
Yeah, and brain hemorrhage. You really hope
Doesn't
that
sound good.
You really hope that he gets stable and is able to get back on his feet. But with those type of things, it definitely becomes an issue of life or death.
When you hear guarded condition and they're not releasing anything else, they're trying to, to find the way, the best way to care for him. Yesterday afternoon at lunch in Manhattan, he collapsed and was taken to the hospital. And David Stern, I'm serious. I would enter into that David Stern over Pete Rozelle argument, but that's for another day. We take this break. When we come back, we'll have our Friday football forecast from First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. We'll do the picks. Gabe will weigh in with us, and we think Dave may join us from Knoxville. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system tuned up? Did you know your heating system can lose up to 5% efficiency every year it skips a tune-up? Why compromise your family's comfort? Good news, it's heating system tune-up time at Conway Services. Schedule your heating system tune-up today for just $57. Not only will you save big, but we'll also include a Google Home Mini absolutely free while supplies last. That's right, get Conway Services 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-up on your heating system for only $57 and get a Google Home Mini absolutely free. The experts at Conway Services will make sure your heating system is ready for those cold winter nights, all for only $57, and we'll include a Google Home Mini absolutely free. Why trust your comfort to anyone else? Stay warm and stay connected. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles, when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Wolf Chase Lim and Brace.
Whether you're a casual golfer or an avid golfer, let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you fill your wish list with the season's best deals in golf, featuring special holiday offers from TaylorMade. Save $5 on TaylorMade TP5 and TP5X golf balls, now only $39.99, and featuring the new TaylorMade Mill Grind 2 wedges for $169.99. And while you're there, register to win free golf balls for a year. The Edwin Watts Golf Shops holiday sale is at our new location in the Ridgeway Trace Shopping Center. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
This is the time of year when people come in from out of town and you want to impress them, and there's simply no better way to impress out-of-towners than 117 Prime in the heart of beautiful downtown Memphis. If your family or friends are visiting Memphis for the first time or for the first time in a long time, take them to the finest dining destination in downtown Memphis, 117 Prime. They'll be amazed by the best steaks in town and the best atmosphere anywhere in the city. 117 Prime is built to impress your visitors. 117 Prime is simply built to impress.
Nationally ranked Navy and Kansas State will meet for the first time ever at this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and you'll want to be there as well. Plus, American Idol winner, country music star Scotty McCreery will perform at halftime. It's all happening December 31st at 2:45 in the afternoon. Get your tickets today by calling the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Time for the Friday football forecast from First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. For real estate, commercial, ag, hunting, and recreational, contact them at fnbt.com or 901-498-5763.
Friday football forecast from First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. Real estate isn't something you purchase or develop or desire. It's something you appreciate, respect, and know. With real estate, there's no gray area. You either know it or you don't. First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, they've known it since their beginning in 1886. Clients depend on First National Bank because they know real estate. Brooks Winchester, Nick Sutton, and many more can assist you in your acquisition of that hunting land, farmland, a construction project. Let First National Bank and Trust make your dreams a reality. 775 Ridge Lake Boulevard, Suite 140 in Memphis, 901-498-5763 or fnbtmemphis.com. That's fnbtmemphis.com. For commercial real estate, residential construction, or recreational and agriculture financing, let First National Bank and Trust help you, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, where I've had an account and been a friend my entire life.
Boy, I'm glad I got Dave's picks because I sure would hate for him to lose out. But he's up 2 on us. He's up 2 on me and Drew. Drew and I are tied, I think. I'd sure hate for him to lose out not getting official picks in. He hadn't rejoined us from Knoxville, but he gave me his picks. And I don't want to win that way, do I?
Probably not, but it looks like he's joining us right now.
Just what I'm saying. Might be a little chicanery around it. I think he is checking with us. First game we'll pick will be that historic game played tomorrow afternoon in Philadelphia. President of the United States will be there at Lincoln Financial. I don't know what the forecast is. Usually very frigid, sometimes snow-covered. A few years ago, it looked like a snow globe at that game. It was great. Army and Navy, 120th time. Of late, it's been mostly the Army. For most of the 21st century, it's been mostly Navy. Dave joins us now. Dave, I was just saying, I'm glad I got your picks. I wouldn't want to win with you not being able to get your picks in, so I'm glad I had them, and then you called. I wouldn't want to win that way, would I?
No, sir. But we have evidence. You couldn't have gotten away with this. Plus, which you're a soulful guy. I know.
I want to win. I want to win, but I'm not going to cheat you. So Army-Navy, the only college game we're going to pick this week on the college picks this year, Dave is 47-50. Drew's 48-49. I'm 47-50. Gabe picking today with us. He's 8-4, joining in on the fun a couple of Fridays with us. He's 8-4. So we'll start with that game. Dave, you first. Army-Navy. Navy 10.5-point favorite tomorrow in Philadelphia. You know this Navy team well.
I do, and I heard a prognosticator with Greg and Eli yesterday, and the point he was making, and I mean very forcefully, that the play in this is the under, because the under has won.
That was the Bruce Marshall
and I'm not
play.
Kidding, it was like 20 years in a row.
Yeah.
I like Army not to win the game, but Army will cover because this will be low scoring, and you're getting 10.5 points. So I want the midshipmen to win, but I want the Knights to cover. Give me Army.
I'm almost same analysis. I've got a little more points than Bruce Marshall liked. And, one thing Bruce always says, that there is nothing static in sports wagering. It is always very dynamic, but the under has been the static play. I'm going to go. I'm with you. I don't think Army wins the game outright. and I think I know I am. I'm pulling for Navy to come in here with double-digit wins for the 61st AutoZone Liberty Bowl. But Army plus the points. Navy wins the game 27-23. Drew takes Navy laying that 10.5, Gabe.
Thought we were going to have a clean sweep. I'm going Army here. Too many points. I think Army's just had tough luck. They're 5-17, but two triple option teams together, 10.5 points, way too much.
Yeah, and at that game, Dave, I know I told you at the time, when you're sitting there, it's not the football that I'm accustomed to watching during the course of the year, but it is still beautiful, the respect they have for each other. And those offenses, if you want a rapidly played game, it'll be that one tomorrow. That'll be about 2 hours and 40 minutes. It won't be a 4-hour, with each team throwing the ball 50 times. It won't be 20 passes attempted in the game. Only college game we've made the pick on it. NFL on Sunday. They started this 2019 season in the 100th year of the NFL. It's the oldest rivalry in the National Football League. It's at famed Lambeau Field on Sunday at noon. The Packers 4.5-point favorite over the Chicago Bears. Dave, don't tell me you're not going against your Bears, especially after you've kissed and made up with them, are you?
They're my Bears, but this is a picking contest.
Going against them.
This
does winning mean that much to you, Dave?
Lambeau, and the Packers at home, and they're still playing for a lot. And the Bears, well, they still have a very outside chance, but I think the Bears' momentum comes to an end here. I think the Packers are just a better team. I hate to say it. I love Chicago. I want them to win as badly as anybody. I'd love to even see you beat me on this if you take the Bears. But I got to go with the Packers. Give me I'll give away the 4.5.
Not a chance. I'm taking the Pack to win easily, 31-10 over the Bears. Mitch Mitchell plays like Mitch Mitchell on Sunday.
Oh, stop that! Stop that!
Drew's with me on taking Green Bay. Group lock, Gabe?
Nope. Going the Bears.
Going Bears?
I'm going Bears, and I have this sneaky suspicion they might win outright. I like that defense.
Wow.
Earlier in the year, Aaron Rodgers couldn't muster up 10 points. That Packers team seems fake to me. They just don't seem like they're very good. And if the Bears don't win this one, they end with the Chiefs and Vikings. They better get this one.
And Gabe, being down 2 and knowing my friend Dave Wolo going on almost 30 years, I go Army and Green Bay thinking for sure he'd go Navy from the American and his Bears, and I can't make up any ground on him like this. Here's the game I'm going to make up ground on him. I know I will. Noon in Nashville, Titans, 3.5-point favorite over division rival, the Houston Texans, AFC South. Key matchup. They play again in 2 weeks on the last weekend, on the last Sunday of the NFL season. I'm going to lay the points with the Titans, lay the 3.5. Titans win 27-17. Drew takes Titans as well, Gabe.
Look, the Texans coming off a clunker. I'm going Texans here. I'm a big believer. You come off a clunker, you gotta prove yourself. And this is a big division game for them. I think they'll rise to the occasion.
Gabe takes the Texans. Dave?
This game is in Tennessee. Do you realize that?
I do.
Vrabel is going to be a guy that they're going to start to mention now for Coach of the Year if he continues to win. Houston was terrible last week. Look at the way they played against Denver. That was very eye-opening in my mind. I am not as high on the Texans. It's in Nashville. I'll give away 3.5. I made that bet with Russell yesterday.
You did?
You think I'm going against that? No way.
You can't go against
Russell's going to owe me a steak, and you're not going to get any ground on me.
I just don't see 2 clunkers in a row for the Texans. I guess I'll be the only one.
Bill O'Brien could suddenly play himself into a precarious position with them because they've never really maxed out. So 3 of us take the Titans, and Gabe, you're the only Texan picker. 3:25 on Sunday in Dallas, site of the Cotton Bowl at Jerry's World. Rams 1.5-point favorites in that game. The Cowboys desperate for a win. I think the Rams are pretty close to maybe not as much must-win as Dallas. I take Dallas to win the game. Give me the 1.5. Dallas wins the game 21-20. Dave?
I'll give you the 1.5. Those two are teams that are going the opposite way. I think Dallas has phoned it in. I really do. I'm not a big Rams guy, but they're starting to get a little bit better as this year's gone on. They got a lot more. They both have a lot to play for, I guess. I'm only got to give away 1.5. I know it's on the road. I just don't believe in Dallas. Give me the Rams.
You take the Rams. That's what Drew takes. He takes the Rams and lays the 1.5. Gabe?
I am with them both. Dallas has to prove to me they can beat a good team.
So I'm by myself with the Cowboys.
The teams they've beat, combined record of 17-44. I can't see them beating an 8-5 team at this point in the season.
7:20 Sunday night, the Sunday night football game. Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth on the call. The Buffalo Bills on a Sunday night, the game. They are against Pittsburgh, 2.5-point underdogs that the Bills will be. The Steelers, 2.5-point favorite. Mike Tomlin making a late push for NFL Coach of the Year. I'm going to take Pittsburgh in this game. Mike Tomlin and the Steelers stay on that run. Steelers minus the 2.5. They win 24-19. Dave?
I'm going to take the 2.5. Boy, we are just differing. I think the Bills are a better team, and they're due to win one of these big games. I like Pittsburgh. I wish I'd like for them to win because of our ties with Randy Fichtner and Keith Butler and Mike Tomlin, for that matter. But I think Buffalo is due to win one of these big games, and I think they're the better team. I'll take the 2.5.
Gabe?
Keep hearing the Steelers have won 3 straight, but those 3 straight are the Bengals, Browns, Cardinals. Buffalo's defense against a third-string quarterback in Duck Hodges and a hurt Juju. I'll take Buffalo every day.
Now, Gabe, it's not fair to you come in with good analysis like that on those 3 teams that they've won against. That's not fair. That's not what we do on Football Forecast. That's really a solid pick and good analysis on your part. You take Buffalo with Dave. Drew takes Buffalo, so I'm alone with the Steelers. Y'all have Buffalo. I'm alone with the Cowboys. Y'all all 3 have the Rams. NFL lock time. Drew's NFL lock. Seattle laying the 6.5 points over Carolina. Carolina's quit on the year. And I will take the Raiders in the last game ever at the Coliseum and lay the 6.5-point favorite, 6.5 points. They win over Jacksonville. They've quit as well. Oakland wins 31-14. Gabe?
I'll take John Gruden over Doug Marrone. I'm taking Raiders plus 6.5 against the Jags.
Raiders minus
6.5. Sorry,
as the favorite over Jacksonville. So we agree there. Dave?
I'm going to take Philadelphia playing to win that division, especially if Dallas loses.
Somebody has
to the Rams at home. And there's another team that I think has given it up, Washington. Even though it is at FedEx Field, give me Philly. I'll take the 4.5 and give them to Washington. I still think the Eagles will win.
Eagles laying that 4.5 over Washington to take maybe advantage in the NFC. Somebody's going to punch a 4 seed in a home playoff game host ticket out of that. NFL Shock Time must be an underdog. Drew's underdog. He takes Denver plus the 9.5 over Kansas City. Give me Atlanta plus the 10.5. San Francisco wins. Jimmy G wins, but they don't win by 10.5. 34-27. Niners over Falcons. Dave, your NFL shock pick.
I'm going to take the Chargers and Phillip Rivers at home. I'm getting 2.5 against the Minnesota team that obviously needs to win. And every time Kirk Cousins is on the road and needs to win, he doesn't play so well. So give me the 2.5. I thought this was a hard week for shocks. I'm going to go with the Chargers here.
Dave, you've been dynamite all year, whether with them at the right time or against them at the right time, involving the Vikings. Gabe, your NFL shock pick?
Brett, our lock and shock the exact same. I'm taking
it's
ATL
allowed.
plus the 10.5. Falcons are sneaky talented. The Niners are coming off a really, really emotional win against the Saints. I think they'll have some lulls. They'll still win the game, but the Falcons cover.
I hope you win it.
Gabe, have you not seen who the quarterback for the Niners is? It's a guy named Jimmy G.
He's going to knock off
crazy?
Joe Montana in San Francisco, right, Dave?
Who? Joe who?
Joe.
They know Jimmy G now.
Dave, thank you for joining with us. I know you've got an event to go to tonight. Tell Burt Bertelkamp how much we appreciate him joining. And,
I will.
And we'll be listening tomorrow. Look forward to seeing you on Monday. Thank you for hustling and jumping on with us.
You guys all have a great weekend. We'll have a lot to talk about on Monday, that is for sure.
You got it. Dave Wolo on the road with the Tigers and good picking. You know, on those shock picks, college and pro, we didn't have any this week in college. If you win that, you get 2 points. So I hope you win because I got to make up the points and the picks with them. That's our Friday football forecast brought to you by First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas for real estate, commercial, ag, hunting, and recreational. Contact them at FNBT.com, or call them at 901-498-5763. I want to go to one text and respond to it at the First Bank text line and talk about it. And a person asked, hey, Brett, I would love to hear your opinion on John Daly really ripping into Jeff Long earlier this week on this station. I'm sorry I didn't hear it. Gabe, was it with Greg and Eli?
It was with Greg and Eli. He is not a fan of Jeff Long.
Not
a fan.
There are, through the years, I don't know how I'm going to delicately put this, one real separation with this audience, with my audience, with our listeners, has been on John Daly. I've been critical of John and some of his actions through the years. I do certainly understand some of the travails he's been through, largely self-inflicted, but also know a surefire cure to that. Put the whiskey down. That's kind of where I've been with John through the years, and I'm one that did that. I had to do that. I couldn't agree with him more here, though. Jeff Long rim-wrecked the Arkansas Athletics Department.
And then not doing so hot immediately with Kansas either. I'll say that much.
And we all knew it was almost impossible to fill the shoes as athletics director of Frank Broyles. He didn't even get close. I mean, it was a tough task. It was a hard charge. It was a tough hand dealt anybody to be the AD after what I think Frank Broyles was the greatest athletics director in the history of ADs, the Bear Bryant of ADs. I told Robert Kyatt one time he was the Bear Bryant of chancellors down at Ole Miss. And it's kind of like being the Babe Ruth or something. In college sports world, if you're the Bear Bryant or something, that means you were really good. Coach Broyles was that good. Jeff Long was that bad. He was horrible. And Arkansas still really, really reeling from it. I did not hear that. Was it at featured audio? Is it still up?
It is still up there. You can go check it out on Sports 56.
And John Daly, very passionate, and we were at Fayetteville together. He was a little bit young. I think he was 3 years younger than me. So I was junior, senior when he was just getting there, and quite a phenomenon. And what John accomplished, I've always said, 2 majors by the time you're 30. And to win an Open championship at St. Andrews, that almost counts double. But and I wish him well going forward. But I agree with him 100% on Jeff Long. So to that texter that wanted my thoughts on it, I got to go back and listen to it. But whatever he said, it could not have been tough enough. When we come back, we wrap up the day. We wrap up the week with Taco Bell Crunch Time. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett and Gabe Kuhn on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Need Christmas gifts for friends, family, even yourself? Now's the time to buy at Family Leisure. Buy one item for someone special, you get the second for yourself at half off. Pool tables as low as $14.99. Hot tubs as low as $1,400. Arcades as low as $9.99. Massage chairs, you can get one as low as $6.99. There's so much to choose from now through Christmas Eve. Get your Christmas shopping done at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family fun and the holidays all come together.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
It's a winter wonderland at NV Nail Bar, and if you're looking to host a party during the holidays, I know just the perfect spot for you. NV Nail Bar has the most beautiful private room that awaits you. Feel pampered and spoiled with their complimentary full premium adult beverage bar. Sit back and get a full body massage with your Petty Mani. I'm loving it. And don't forget your holiday gift cards. Everyone would love their Petty Mani. When you buy a gift card, you get a bonus gift card. Call Salon for details. NV Nail Bar, corner of Poplar and Perkins.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you, and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. 5Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time.
You are looking live. It's crunch time. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Golly, I don't remember that one.
Take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
In the crunch time, that's the frustrating part.
Oh, no, not again.
Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
He throw those ears forward, and he was in stroke mode.
It's obviously crunch time.
Boop, boop, boop. That's what you're getting.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. Gabe, what I learned today, that the clear favorite to win Super Bowl 54 in Miami now, it has to be Baltimore. They just destroyed the Jets last night. Now 12-2 and looking to close out, locking up the number one seed and home field advantage all the way through. But be reminded of this. Kansas City had all that last year, hosted the AFC Championship game with the hot quarterback of last year in Patrick Mahomes, and we know who won it. It was TB12. What'd you learn today?
Oh, my gosh. I'm going to stay along those lines with the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, just how impressive he is. He's at 1,103 yards on 7 yards per carry as a quarterback. Past Mike Vick's record. He actually has more rushing yards than 4 franchises here, the Bears, Jets, Falcons, and Dolphins.
I wonder where just this year puts him on the all-time Ravens rushing list.
Oh, it's up there. He's the 5th leading rusher in the league right now.
And becoming appointment TV. I mean, you
Absolutely.
You want to watch him and you want to pull for him. What is you could have done without today?
I could have done without linebacker Camu Grugier-Hill with the Eagles. Lied about his concussion on the field. We've been trying to get rid of this. We've been trying to figure something out.
With the people.
And he decided not to. Doug Peterson came out and said it was a selfish act, and they went through all the protocols before the season, had a meeting, and he still decided to play with a concussion.
Can't do it anymore.
Can't do it.
Can't do it anymore. And it's why, you have to have that independent testing, and I know we do, but it's got to be tough on them. Go take that helmet from them. You take that helmet from you. You're not going back into any football game from Pee Wee League up without a helmet on. Take that helmet from them and not let them go back in. I could have done without. We talked about it with Andy Schiffman. We alluded to it, the sad news about former NBA Commissioner David Stern rushed to the hospital yesterday after suffering a brain hemorrhage. It doesn't sound good. We hope and pray he gets okay. We would not have basketball tonight in downtown Memphis without David Stern. He was very pro-Memphis. He was very pro-small market. He loved Mike Heisley. He had friends in this community like a friend of mine, a great Memphian, Mr. Arnold Pearl, that worked so hard to get Memphis here, to get FedEx Forum built on time, on budget. David Stern was a friend of Memphis, and we wish him and his family peace. What are you keeping a close eye on this weekend? It is a lot to keep an eye on.
Keeping a very close eye on the Tigers and Tennessee basketball game. It's going to be a really good one.
No ball fist?
No bald fist. Hopefully no bald fist, but
just basketball.
Hopefully it's a good game, and maybe see my Tigers come out on top.
It will be fun. We'll watch the Heisman Trophy ceremony tomorrow night. Spoiler alert: Joe Burrow in a landslide, going downtown to the FedEx Forum tonight to see the Grizzlies without Ja, in Milwaukee without the Greek Freak. Too bad for the fans to see that tonight, but tomorrow night they can see Ja out there against the Wizards. Army-Navy tomorrow afternoon, kind of leading into Heisman Trophy ceremony tomorrow night. And, of course, Tigers and Tennessee at Thompson Bowling Arena. Sell out there tomorrow. That's 22,000 legit when they're sold out, and it should be rocking in that one, with Tennessee trying to get the revenge from, or the Tigers trying to get revenge from last year's loss to UT. If the Patriots lose on Sunday at Cincinnati, they're not going to, but if they do, full Patriot obituary will start being written by everybody. Bears and Packers at Lambeau, a lot to keep an eye on. For Dave, for Drew, for Gabe, I'm Brett. Everybody have a safe, great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work, and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect.
Is your company going through a merger or downsizing and you feel your job is in jeopardy? Don't delay. Call Pro Resume, the #1 source for professional resumes in the Mid-South. Go to proresume.biz or call 685-1950, the fastest way to a new job.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
One thing I've learned over the years, no matter what you're buying, the smart thing to do is to buy from someone who sells quality products, delivers great personal service, and knows their business inside and out because they have over 2 decades of experience. When you're talking about insurance, it's more important than ever because you're counting on your agent to come up with a policy that's exactly what you need from a company you can absolutely depend on, be there when you need him, and save money all at the same time. When you deal with William Glass or any of their staff at the Glass Group, you're not only in good hands, you'll find out that you can put the money a lot of insurance companies spend on advertising on the World Series or college football or basketball in your pocket while you enjoy first-rate coverage on your home, auto, and business with things like Rate Lock on your car. So you're not canceled for a wreck or a speeding ticket. Guaranteed replacement on your home and contents, earthquake coverage, and outstanding rates for business on workman's comp, commercial auto, and any other business need you may have. Worried about mayhem? Call William Glass at the Glass Group, 843-1190. They'll handle it for you. 843-1190. When it comes to your pet, you want nothing but the best in boarding, daycare, and grooming, and we say thank you, Memphis, for voting Barks and Recreation #1 in Best Pet Grooming in this year's Memphis Most competition. We're also #1 in boarding with indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please while they're being cared for by the best staff in Memphis, one that includes overnight staffing to ensure the safety and happiness of your pet 24 hours a day. And we're #1 in daycare with indoor and outdoor play areas, individual and group playtime, 4 walks a day, and small play groups to make sure that your pet gets the individual attention they deserve. Make your reservations now at barksdaycare.com or call us at 901-509-0909. Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove, between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. There are 2 or 3 things in life that you simply can't live without if you live in the Mid-South. One of them is air conditioning. We take it for granted, never think about it, till it stops working, and then when you're miserable, you make the mistake of calling the big-name company, and you pay way more than you should, or you call somebody who shouldn't be working on your lawnmower, much less something as important and complex as your HVAC system. When you need air conditioning or heating help, make the smart call to Dunn Heating and Air Conditioning at 494-9040. Brooke Dunn takes pride in his work. He'll treat you fairly, he knows his business, and he comes with the complete backing of the old Rain Man, and University of Memphis supporters will undoubtedly remember his grandfather, Coach Al Brown. Dunn Heating and Air Conditioning, 494-9040. That's 494-9040.
Did you know that paying a traffic ticket is an admission of guilt? It is, and it could result in higher insurance rates and add points to your driving record, which could result in your license being suspended or even revoked. It's amazing how simple things can turn into major problems, and it's why no matter what legal problem you may have, you need to know exactly what your rights and your options are. You need an attorney who is only interested in one thing, fighting for you, and I've got one for you, Chelsea Rainey. You can call her for a free, convenient phone consultation at 901-647-4861. Traffic tickets, driving while impaired, drug charges, misdemeanors, divorce. If you live in the Metro Memphis area and you've been accused of a crime, you need to speak to attorney Chelsea Rainey about your options and your legal rights. Chelsea Rainey is dedicated to advocating and protecting your rights. Your initial consultation is free, and attorney Chelsea Rainey is always on call, always available at 647-4861. That's 647-4861.
You finally found it, the vehicle of your dreams. You know it's got everything you want, you just don't know the price. Until now, shop one price pre-owned vehicles today at AutoNation Ford Wolf Chase. Now, every pre-owned vehicle is clearly marked with our lowest price, guaranteed. That means no negotiations, no pressure, just one low price. And every certified AutoNation pre-owned vehicle is inspected in 125 different places, so there's no worries. Plus, your purchase is protected with a money-back guarantee for 5 days or 250 miles, whichever comes first. And as America's largest automotive retailer, you can shop one price pre-owned vehicles from over 250 stores coast to coast. That's something you can count on. Shop over 20,000 one price pre-owned vehicles at AutoNation.com or visit AutoNation Ford Wolf Chase. Drive pink, drive safe, drive now. AutoNation. Certain terms, conditions, and restrictions may apply. See store for complete details.
Southern Sports Report is being brought to you today in part by Gateway Tire and Service Centers, where there's always one thing you can count on. We go the distance for you. So before you hit the road for a trip across country or just across town, drop by any one of our 12 Memphis area locations. Whether it's tires or auto repair, you can always count on one thing. At Gateway Tire and Service Center, we go the distance for you.
Memphis Sports Radio welcomes you to the following presentation of Southern Sports Report.
The following program contains frank and honest commentary on sports. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Gateway Tire and Service Center's Southern Sports Report with John Rainey, the Rain Man, and Whitey Mills with Stat Attack Sports in Springdale, Arkansas. You can join the show by dialing 360-8255. Can't get to a phone? Email us at theboys@southernsportsreport.com.
Southern Sports Report is being brought to you today in part by All-Star Sports, celebrating 41 years of excellence in sports handicapping. Van Atkins Jewelers in New Albany and Oxford. Why Van Atkins? Because you know she's worth it. Parks and Recreation, luxury doggy daycare and boarding in the heart of East Memphis. Voted #1 in Memphis Most 3 years in a row. And of course, Gateway Tire and Service Center. At Gateway, we go the distance for you.
Phone lines are open, and first-time callers are welcome, needed, and appreciated. And now, live from the All-Star Sports Studios, here's John Rainey, the Rain Man, and Whitey Mills.
And welcome back to Southern Sports Report. I am your host, John Rainey, the Rain Man. It is the Friday, December 13th. I love this. Friday the 13th. This is my favorite day of the year. And I hope it is. I can go back. Every good thing that's happened to me, I think, has been on Friday the 13th. I won't tell you what they all are. You would appreciate some of them probably, but Friday the 13th is a good day. We invite you to join us, 360-8255 or 888-360-8255. The fabulous Gabe Coons on the other side of the glass. He is waiting on those phone calls, and if you call in, you might even get to talk to Mr. Whitey Mills over at Stat Attack Sports in Springdale, Arkansas. Before we get to Whitey, I want to open this thing up. I want some Tiger fans. Call and tell me what you think about Ryan Silverfield. Let's get Whitey on here. Mr. Mills, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing so, John. I think I'll make it. I'll find out next Tuesday how I'm doing. Got a meeting with the doctor, and we'll find out exactly how I'm doing.
I can already tell you how you're doing. You don't need to
I think I'm doing great.
Exactly. Yep. What are you wasting your time going to see them for?
Well, just to confirm and cancel out some things. You know, it's always nice to hear it from a professional. No doubt.
Oh, you think just because he got something behind his name, some letters, you're supposed to pay attention to him, right?
The guy I've got is a strong, strong germ, and anything he says, I'd be listening to.
I understand. Because you're afraid of him as much as anything, right?
You know, it amazes me. He's located in Fayetteville, which is borderline Springdale. You know, the 4 or 5 city grouping here in Northwest Arkansas. It's about 250,000 people. We have an oncological group that compares with any in the world. And that's pretty doggone nice.
Interesting that you would have them in Northwest Arkansas.
Yes, it is.
I always thought of Northwest Arkansas as a place that you got banished to.
Yeah. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people think that, but it's such a
you're bad is something you did something, so you get sent to Northwest Arkansas.
It's such a high quality of living over here, and a lot of these physicians go, I'm sick and tired of the rat race in the big cities, and they're locating along with some of their cronies to start. And literally, this clinic compares to any of them in the world. It just amazes me.
And there's a lot of truth to that too. Is get out of the rat race, and and pretty soon they'll build the thing to another rat race, and then what do?
Their kids will move someplace else. But we're very fortunate, and I, of course, am especially fortunate that I need their services right now to have such a quality group of people.
Well, I'm glad you got them.
I am too. I am too.
All right, guys, I want to know, first off, Whitey, what do you think about Ryan Silverfield?
Okay. Far be it from me to ever criticize any football hiring done by Memphis. If you look at their last 10 in a row, they've done a damn good job of hiring. Now, does he just really grab my chain and say, all right? No, he doesn't, but...
Wait. You said 10.
About that.
No. Oh, no.
Well, I mean,
no.
you've obviously got Fuentes in there, so you got to take that out. But, okay, let's go from Fuentes on. Excellent hiring.
Well, they've done a good job. Let's certainly throw in recently, but
yeah.
I have a hard time with you. You can't go back very far. But, I mean, when I get to Larry Porter, I just kind of, you know how you feel when you think you're going to you get a little nauseous, you know?
Yeah.
But, Rip Shearer was a really good guy. Wasn't that good of a coach.
Uh-huh.
Tommy West was a great guy. Love him to death. But if you look at his record overall, 49, that's from memory, 49 and 60 something. Not anything spectacular for sure.
Well,
but he turned the program around. I think he was
exactly.
I think he was the start.
I do believe you're right. It's a situation that he was competing against all big schools in the Midwest, didn't have much of a budget to play with, and got a lot of production out of some players that weren't all that particularly good. So I think he got us thinking bigger and better.
And then Jesse Viante turned things. I mean, he really got it going. But he was at Memphis. He was like 1 or 2 or 3 games over 500. That's it.
Right.
Of course, he inherited nothing from Larry Porter.
No, nothing at all.
And then Mike Norvell he's the winningest coach that Memphis has had. I mean, he's a little bit higher percentage-wise, didn't coach as long, than Spook Murphy. Spook Murphy was there 14, 15 years and was right at the 2/3 mark. He was around 67, 68%, and Norvell was at 71, almost 72%, I think.
The person I feel sorry for the most in this whole flopping around is Norvell. I think he desperately needed to stay one more year. Juice up that program so he's playing some Power 5 conference teams, and then go from there. But I just really think he left 1 year too early, and I feel badly for him because he's a nice young man.
I think he didn't wait long enough to see what other offers might come.
Yeah, Florida State, give me a break. Come on.
Brady White's got another year. There's a whole lot of guys coming back. I think he would have had another successful season had he stayed one more. And I'm going to tell you, the Florida State job, not a hell of a lot more than a lateral move.
Oh, I agree.
Florida State's facilities, and people are going to laugh at me and say, you're nuts. It's Florida State. Florida State's facilities now are maybe not as good as Memphis facilities are.
Maybe. Very easily. Let's get this right. They're definitely.
Well, I'll guarantee you they're not any better, Whitey.
That's right.
I know they're not better.
That's right. It's going to be interesting, and I wish Mr. Norvell everything, all the success in the world. I just wish for his sake he would have stuck around 1 more year.
I find it interesting, very interesting, that Memphis did not choose to get into any kind of a bidding war, which I find interesting because if you really love the guy that much, and he'd been talked into going to a team that you really could compete against in a lot of different areas. The only area you couldn't compete in is their Power 5 conference, and we're not.
Sure.
That cannot make that big a difference to Mike Norvell. But it's interesting to me that Memphis chose not to come back and say, look, we want you to stay. We'll match their offer. They let him go awful easy.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Am I reading between the lines, Whitey? Am I trying to see something that's not there?
No, I think you're seeing something most people are overlooking. I think that the university was not all that wild, spending a whole bunch of money, and they feel like they've got people in the works who do just as good of a job, which I hope they do.
Well, Ryan's, nothing but praise for Dr. Rudd.
Oh, no.
The decisions he's made and going, I mean, everything, I don't care what it was, everything he's done has been first class.
Yep.
He was strangely absent in this deal. Now,
I think he made his opinion known, and then he went from there.
Do you think this is a way, though, that a real leader, which I consider him to be, he hired Veach, okay?
Okay.
The athletic director.
Right.
So I guess in one way it would not have been good for him to be heavily involved.
No, it would not have been.
In the new coaching search, because he'd essentially be saying, I really don't have very much confidence in the guy that I hired.
Right.
Disturbing because we don't know anything about our athletic director. He hadn't been here long enough. All we know is what we read, and we don't know very much about Coach Silverfield.
Okay, since you put me on the hot seat right off the bat, what did you think about Arkansas's hire of a new coach?
I think Arkansas is having a real problem getting things right.
I think they are. I agree. I think they are.
And I don't understand it.
Well, hasn't been much of a showcase program the last 10, 15 years, you got to admit.
I mean, and now they're talking about, is this going to really happen? Barry Odom is going to become a coordinator at Arkansas.
Do what?
That's what I've heard. I've heard that he's going to be the defensive coordinator if that's not already happened.
Wow. See, I've been in bed all week long, and so consequently I haven't got to read much about the updates, but surely to goodness they wouldn't do that. Golly. Suddenly I feel like my meeting on Tuesday with the doctor may not go so well.
No, let me give you all the bad news that...
Yeah.
I just don't get it about why is Arkansas having such trouble?
Oh, because they've been a mess for years. None of the kids wanted to play the Bielema brand of ball. So, the last 5 or 6 years has been a total mess. Prior to that was not too particularly good. I just don't understand. Okay, you know how much I enjoy good offensive lines and good defensive lines. And that's one thing I can say positive for our particular coach. He is an extremely good line coach. He is an extremely good recruiter. Now, he's never been a head coach. That makes it difficult in my mind. So, everybody over here is going to totally bonkers. They think it's the best hire in the world, but they thought that the last 15 people they've hired, too.
But I mean, you can put Sam Pittman and Ryan Silverfield in the same category and say these are two guys that have never been in either one of our kitchens. Okay?
Right.
I know nothing about either one.
No, nor do I. I just know.
And how do they wind up as head coaches?
Reputation at the school where they're now the new head coach. Pittman was just thought of extremely well here, and if people had the choice of getting rid of Bielema or Pittman, back when that came to pass, everybody would have said, get rid of Bielema, keep Pittman. He's very highly thought of, so maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But it's going to be a switch back in type of football they're going to play. They're not going to play a wide open type of football. They're going to play exactly like Georgia did this year.
Without the talent that Georgia.
Yeah.
That's not. See, the thing I don't understand, this is like Matt Luke all over again.
Okay.
Just in a different place.
All right.
Because Pittman's been there with you guys for a while.
Correct.
And he has not done anything to bolster the Razorbacks' success rate.
No,
he's
really.
Just known as a super nice guy.
Oh, yes, he is.
Well, what does it say on his door at the athletic department?
Better say
head super nice guy?
No, he better say head coach.
I don't understand. I don't get it. I know he's an Arkansas guy now because he was there and he's well liked and all that stuff. But when you're in the shape that Arkansas's in, you must hire. This is